CSP Wolfpack coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Steve Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating, Plumbing, and Air Conditioning, located at 147 East Main Street, Corry, PA. They offer residential and light commercial new services, as well as electrical repairs, well pumps, and water conditioning systems. Phone 814-665-6034. Online at flicksheatingplumbingandac.com. We thank Steve Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating and Plumbing for their support of Wolfpack football coverage.
Mic 1, test. Testing, mic number 1. Mic number 1, test. Testing, mic 2. Testing, mic 2. Mic number 2, test. Testing, mic 2.
CSP Wolfpack football coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is powered by Lictus Oil Propane and Climber. Family-owned, Lictus Oil Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating, oil, and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil Propane for being a major sponsor of CSP Sports.
Corry's only locally operated radio station is Channel 98.9. With your eerie weather, your favorite personalities.
Thank you so much for joining us on a Monday.
You see today local news, entertainment, and information around the clock. And Corry's modern rock. Channel 98.9, your one radio station.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by NISFA and the New York State Athletic Administrators Association.
phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
CSP Wolfpack coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Steve Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating, Plumbing, and Air Conditioning, located at 147 East Main Street, Corry, PA. They offer residential and light commercial new services, as well as electrical repairs, well pumps, and water conditioning systems. Phone 814-665-6034. Online at flicksheatingplumbingandac.com. We thank Steve Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating and Plumbing for their support of Wolfpack football coverage.
School sports are played by humans, coached by humans, and officiated by humans. So the next time you're sitting in the stands at a school athletic event, please remember this and maintain your humanity, especially when it comes to judging and critiquing athletes, coaches, and officials. Please show your fellow humans some respect. They'll appreciate your empathy.
This message presented by NISFA and the New York State Athletic Administrators Association.
Test, 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 test.
And now, the Corry Federal Credit Union presents Clymer Sherman Panama Wolfpack Football play-by-play on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream at channel989.org. This broadcast is brought to you by the Corry Federal Credit Union, Lictus Oil and Propane, Jim's Automotive, Flicks Heating and Plumbing and Air Conditioning, and Daniels Electric, Necker's General Store, the Cornerstone Restaurant, Caflisch Pallet and Wood Services, Triple E Manufacturing, Tina Dill's Real Estate Agent, Utegg's Body Shop, Countertop Solutions, J. Edwards Insurance. And now the Corry Federal Credit Union pregame show.
And welcome into Jack Keeney Community Field. I'm Josh Hosier alongside
Brad Swanson.
And Brad, welcome back to the air here with CSP.
Yeah, thank you,
We had you a
Josh.
couple games early this season, get you back here again today.
Right.
And you've been doing a lot of Corry football. And tell me, the Beavers having a lot of fun this season.
Yeah, they're off to a good start this year. They lost a couple tough ones, Fort LaBeouf and General McLean, which are always tough schools to play against. But they're sitting at 6-2 with 2 games remaining on their schedule at Harbor Creek this next Friday. And then the final game will be at home against a tough Oil City team.
So they're in the catbird seat, though, heading into the playoffs, other than Fort LaBeouf, right?
Right.
So.
LaBeouf leads the region, and Corry sets in second. So it's a big region game next week with Harbor Creek. And LaBeouf beat Harbor Creek last night 35-29. So it was a tight game. So should be another tight game next week for Corry.
All right. So with the Beavers in good shape and hopefully heading into a playoff run, we shift gears here to Panama and homecoming here for CSP. And the Wolfpack, they're in pretty good shape, too. Currently sitting at 3-2, 2-2 in league. Their 2 losses to 2 of the top programs in the area. And they got one more really good program to play. That's next week, Southwestern. Southwestern has beat up on everybody else. So going to be a tough one next week for the Pack. But this week they draw 0-5 Springville. The Springville Griffith Institute not having a great football season. 19 points, 448 points against.
Whoa.
Not exactly the way they saw their season going, I don't think. So the Wolfpack draw the right opponent for homecoming. If you got to pick one for homecoming, you want that easy win, right?
Right, definitely.
Wolfpack come into today's game coming off, a heartbreaker against Chautauqua Lake and then a bounce-back win against Fredonia last week. The Chautauqua Lake loss, just like the Salamanca loss before that, came down to the final play of the game. CSP driving to win the game, and then calamity happens. They either drop a pass or didn't quite get the first down, whatever the reason is. In the first game was they dropped the touchdown pass. Second game they came up 2 yards short of the first down. So 2 really top teams they lost to by a play or 2. And they find themselves still in a playoff position right now. They sit, at the edge of a playoff spot. And what's going to be interesting, the one team that they've beat who stands below them in the standings is Faulkner. Faulkner beat Portville last night. They move up into a tie with CSP pending the result of this game. So CSP wins, they'll move back into the top 4. If they lose, Faulkner actually jumps ahead of them.
Wow.
So things are going to get real interesting in the C-South here. Other interesting things that happened around the region yesterday. Most football obviously played on Fridays, although we have the uniqueness of Saturday day games here in Panama. Some other big ones that would impact local fans. Allegheny Limestone Hinsdale got blown out by Newfane 58-8. Silver Creek Forestville gets past Cat Little Valley 27-12. Wilson handles Randolph 35-7. And looking around, some other scores that would impact CSP. In the C North, Barker Royhart gets past JFK 46-24. They remain atop the C North. East Aurora Holland, who was supposed to be the favorite for the C North, they fall to Depew 30-19. And Portville, as I said, lost to Faulkner 48-36. Franklinville Elkayville falls to Gowanda Pine Valley 44-34 behind excellent quarterback work from Carter Capozzi for Gowanda Pine Valley. Chautauqua Lake Westfield Brockton, they lost to Southwestern last week. They bounced back against Fredonia 64-16 win. Wow. And as I said, Southwestern to get past Salamanca 49-7. Not a close game there. So that puts us to today's game.
Wow. There's a lot happening, it looks like. I was looking last night after I was checking all the scores from PA and New York State, and it's just crazy that it's this far along in the season. Yeah,
it's really getting to that point in the year where things are getting exciting. And, you're starting to see those playoff battles come down to individual plays as opposed to weeks or the next couple games, right? So, home stretch for both PA and New York. Playoffs right around the corner. And, in both of these leagues that we watch here on 98.9, we have some excitement, some really great football. And frankly, Class C South, there's 4 teams, maybe 5, that could win this thing. Now, Southwestern would beg to differ, I think, the way they've been just beating everybody up. But, you're 1 or 2 players away, or 1 or 2 plays away from things changing dramatically. So, you never know. In the PA side, in District 10, some schools that have emerged as kind of the powers in District 10. It's interesting. Meadville having a down year again. They're not who they once were.
Right.
But General McLean looks excellent.
Yeah, General McLean has. I always say they reload every year. They reload. They just have a great program over there, from the feeder program all the way up. They have good coaching and great athletes, and they have a big area.
Yeah.
Really to draw from. They're just one of those teams that's steady every year. They're probably the steadiest team of the old Erie County teams.
Right. The other thing that I've noticed quietly under the radar, Eisenhower's getting the job done. Other than a loss to Seneca, which kind of baffled me a little bit, they've pretty much done what they need to do to win their region.
Right. Yeah, they're another very well-coached team and a bunch of very tough kids that believe in each other and believe in their system that they have over there. And, they picked up a few athletes from Youngsville.
Yeah.
So that's helped them out, and they're on their way. I could see them winning a playoff game this year.
They have an excellent quarterback there, Jacob Zach. He's a running, throwing quarterback that's really, really impressed me the couple times I've seen him play. Of course, what's standing in their way is Mercier's Prep and Vinny Feliciano.
Yes.
That kid is a absolute
Did you see what he did last
machine.
night?
Yes, I did.
He had 280 yards on 14 carries, which is a 20-yard per carry average, and scored 8 touchdowns. So 8 of his 14 touches were touchdowns.
And he is that kind of game changer. He's certainly going to go to the next level. But the question will be whether he plays football or runs track at the next level, because he's also a state champion track athlete already.
Right.
So he may not end up playing football at the next level, but it would be for a good reason, I think.
Yes.
Some announcements happening here at the field, and that's the starting lineup for the Springfield Griffins. And they're going to get to the Wolfpack starting lineup here momentarily on homecoming. And tonight's homecoming, a unique event for CSP. We had the parade yesterday here in Panama. It was a lot of fun. Fire trucks from 3 communities and then all the different floats and things like that. This is the neat thing about homecoming for CSP versus other schools. It's 3 different communities coming together to do this, right?
Right.
So when we see the homecoming court being announced today at halftime, they'll do all 3 schools separately, which is really fun. It's kind of a unique thing that you don't see at other schools. Usually it's just, this is our court, this is the 4 or 6 kids, whatever it is. But at this, you're going to have half the field covered in kids because there's 3 schools to announce.
Wow, that's nice. Now, will that be at halftime? Will they do the?
Yeah, they're going to announce who is on the court at halftime.
Okay.
They're not going to announce the winners of the Princess, Prince, Queen, and King until tonight at the dance.
Oh, okay.
So if you're a parent of one of those kids, you still got to go to the dance to find out.
Right, and you'll be able to check the Corry Journal next week, I'm sure, and get the results of that. I think they cover all that kind of stuff.
What's interesting, yes, the Corry Journal should have it. The Post Journal should have it as well in New York State, but this makes this game so exciting for so many other kids who aren't really football kids, right? So, several of the kids in the school who probably don't attend football games are here for homecoming, right? Because they're excited because of the dance and everything else. Last night's event was fun. They got done with the parade. They had this big event up here with tailgating, and they had music and ice cream and, did all this stuff. And they were supposed to have a bonfire, but the burn ban in New York prevented that. So they had an outside movie instead. Just all this stuff for the kids to do to make this whole weekend an activity for them, and pretty exciting.
That is exciting. I think it's awesome, and it's really great when the 3 communities can come together. They were rivals for so many years, and now, over the last few years, they've shown what you can do when you put people together and everybody gets on the same page. And if we could only do that as adults in life, it would be a much better world, that's for sure.
It's amazing to me. We talk about mergers here at CSP. And it's, being discussed again, a 3-school merger, and they're going to have a study in place here in the next couple of weeks that's going to be due by December. Parents can debate, adults can debate all they want, but watch how these kids react to these sorts of situations, and it really doesn't faze them, right? They're a team. They're out here to win together. Now, the minute the season ends, they're going to go back to being rivals because basketball starts.
Right. That would be nice eventually to see them all under one roof.
Yeah.
Really would be, because that would that would just make for that much better camaraderie between all the kids.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have that, that little. Some of it is probably fun for them now for the kids who participate in both football and like basketball, for instance.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this, for example, in basketball last year, CSP, Panama was state champions, but they had to get through Clymer and Sherman to get there. That was the two biggest competitions locally. I mean, yeah, Westfield was a big competition, but there was a different class. So the biggest competition locally was their own teammates. Makes it kind of fun.
That is fun.
We're going to kick you to a quick word from our sponsors while they have the national anthem here in Panama.
The Corry Federal Credit Union is the platinum sponsor of CSP Wolfpack football play-by-play coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream. The Corry Federal Credit Union would like to wish the Wolfpack the best of luck this season. The Corry Federal Credit Union has been serving the community since 1958. They offer a wide range of financial and banking services for you and your business. The Corry Federal Credit Union is located at 728 Worth Street in Corry, 56 North Main Street in Union City, 315 Main Street in Spartansburg, and online at corryfcu.org. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks the Corry Federal Credit Union, a not-for-profit organization, for their support of CSP Wolfpack football play-by-play. CSP Wolfpack football coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is powered by Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for being a major sponsor of CSP Sports.
CSP Wolfpack coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Steve Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating, Plumbing, and Air Conditioning, located at 147 East Main Street, Corry, PA. They offer residential and light commercial new services, as well as electrical repairs, well pumps, and water conditioning systems. Phone 814-665-6034. Online at flicksheatingplumbingandac.com. We thank Steve Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating and Plumbing for their support of Wolfpack football coverage.
Wolfpack football on the Channel 98.9 Corry Federal Credit Union Sports Stream is provided in part by Countertop Solutions, a proud supporter of Wolfpack athletics. Countertop Solutions wishes the Wolfpack luck in their pursuit of excellence on the field.
CSP Wolfpack coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Steve Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating, Plumbing, and Air Conditioning, located at 147.
Coach's Corner on the Channel 98.9 Corry Federal Credit Union Sports Stream is brought to you by Countertop Solutions in Clymer, High T Fencing Systems at high-t-fenceinc.com, the Dutch Village Restaurant in Clymer, dutchvillage.net, Cornerstone Restaurant at 104 East Main Street in Sherman. First Place Auto Glass at 1794 Foote Avenue in Jamestown. 716-450-0847. Troyer's Greenhouse and Deer Processing in Panama. TroyersGreenhouse.com. Cabot Farms in Clymer. 716-355-6458. Rock Solid General Contracting. The right choice on so many levels. Phone 716-499-2406. And by Lictus Oil and Propane and the Corry Federal Credit Union.
And welcome back to homecoming here in Panama. CSP out in the middle of the field meeting the captains from Springville. And Brad, we talked about the excitement of homecoming. This is technically the Coach's Corner segment. I didn't record it this week, so shame on me. But, Coach Bodemer has really stepped up to the plate this year. You take over for a coach like Ty Harper, who was a 3-time state champion, a guy who had a winning record of like 80% as a coach.
That's incredible.
Those are big shoes to fill.
Right.
Coach Bodemer's got a team who has a winning record, a team that is very, very capable of making a run in the playoffs, and you can see it when you watch this team play. They stick together, and I think that speaks volumes of that coaching staff.
Yes, for sure. And I've known Coach Dave Bodemer for a number of years, and he's always been a class act, and he's always been all for the kids.
Balancing a dozen eggs in one hand while hopping on.
He does a great job. He's a student of the game himself, and I think that they were very wise in appointing Dave Bodemer as the head coach here.
Yeah, he's really one of the only remnants of that original staff that still remains here. But keeping the Wolfpack relevant and in the conversation, which is the key. He's got some athletes coming too. Last year's JV squad undefeated. This year's JV squad looking pretty good. So, it's not the run's not over for CSP. And if they could get back down to the D level, back out of that C level, it would certainly benefit them in the win-loss column, so to speak.
Right, exactly. And, this is a big change for these guys bumping up to the C. And they're answering the call, though. Like you said, the 2 losses were it could have went either way.
Absolutely. I think last year's team, this is not, this is completely my opinion, no real facts behind this. I think last year's team could have won the state championship at the C level. Salamanca was the loser of the state championship game, and I think CSP was head and shoulders better than that team. So I really think but that was a really special CSP team. Wolfpack getting ready to kick off to Springville. Well, let's get this action underway, Brad.
All right.
And Horton's boot in the air, going to be fielded at the 10-yard line, up to the 15 and the 20, and there comes the Wolfpack, and they're going to bring them down, a whole pack of wolves there to meet them at the 20-yard line.
Good coverage
Ever tried
right there.
balancing a dozen eggs in one hand?
So we have a
hopping-
fly that keeps setting off the touchscreen here. Sorry, guys. That was a weird complication. I've never had that one before.
No, that's especially in October.
Yeah. 1st and 10 for the Griffins at their own 21-yard line. Here in Panama today, overcast skies. Not really windy, though. Really kind of still right now.
Yeah, it's actually, a little, it feels warmer than 57, 58, whatever we got here.
Rolla in the shotgun. 2 wide to either side. Snaps a little off in front of him. He grabs it and is brought down immediately in the backfield. The Wolfpack all over it. And guess who? No surprise. It's going to be Troy Chambers. Chambers and Red Lecky have been just a force to reckon with this year defensively. And if it's not one, it's the other every single time in the backfield.
Yeah, the couple games that I did with you earlier this year, those guys were busy.
Springville going to break the huddle. They're facing 2nd and 10 now. Rolla again in the shotgun with a running back to his left. 2 wide to either side. His receivers look very small.
They do.
There's the snap. He drops back to pass. Fakes to the right. Now he's going to get hit and brought down by the Wolfpack. This time it is number 60. That is Colton Hamilton. And Colton's dad's the one we talked about is overseas right now. So a little gift from Colton, a nice sack to get things going.
Nice. That's awesome.
3rd and 16 for the Griffins. Not the start Springville was hoping for. They're going to hope to chip away at this 3rd and long here so they don't have to punt out of their own end zone. Wolfpack defense. 3 down linemen. Everybody else back in coverage. Springville in the shotgun. Trips to the right. They'll run that way. Here goes Rolla running behind all those guys. He'll throw as he's hit. Intercepted. Wolfpack ball at the 20-yard line. And what a nice little pick that was there by the Wolfpack.
Yeah, that was incredible there. That was just focused. He kept his eyes on that ball, and just a great job.
And Johnny Abers, the recipient of that interception, he makes a nice play, as you said, kept focused on that football and laid out for it, brought it in, and gave the Wolfpack their first possession starting in the red zone.
Let's see what the offense can do.
If they play like that on defense all day, it's going to be a long day for Springville.
For sure.
All right, White in the shotgun. Whitney to his right, 3 wide to that side. There's the give to Whitney. He'll run to the left. He has room to run. He turns it back. He's going to get down to the 5 and in for the touchdown.
One play, one score.
20-yard score for Sawyer. And I jokingly said before the game, I would be shocked if Sawyer doesn't go over 200 today. It's not just because I think that he's an incredible player, which I do, but this game really leans towards him just getting a lot of carries. They're going to get up early, and they're not going to want to take silly chances, right? So,
yeah. Well, you're only 180 off your guess now.
CSP to attempt the kick.
Extra point attempt now for the Wolfpack. Ball is down. Horton's kick is up. And it is good for Michael Horton. 7-0 CSP. 10:26 to play here in the first quarter, and a quick start for the Pack.
Yes, CSP is on its way early here and looking good.
Quickly come to the sideline now. If you're the Pack, now I'm going to put you in the coaching shoes. You ready for this?
Okay.
You got the kind of start you're looking for. How do you keep the motivation high right now?
I would say let's pin them back right now.
Yeah.
Let's kick that ball. Get down there. Everybody do what you're supposed to do. Stay in your lanes and pin them back. And you've done your job, and then your defense is going to come back onto the field and do the same thing. So that's what as a coach myself, I would say keep the momentum going. Let's go. Let's go out there and play hard.
And I saw Coach Dennis Roberts out there with his special teams group probably having that exact same speech with them as they get ready to kick this ball away to Springville.
See, I coached at the Recreation League where we didn't have live kickoffs or punts, though. Our special teams didn't come into play much.
Ty Rowland, the deep man for the Griffins. Horton's kick in the air. Rowland going to move to his left to try to field that ball. He will at the 10-yard line off a bounce. He's up to the 20. He's hit by the first man there and brought down. Wolfpack swarmed to the ball.
Momentum is definitely on the Wolfpack side as they continue to do what they're supposed to do.
It looks like Haven Sexton and then Johnny Abers was the second man there. So Johnny Abers off to a really good defensive start, an interception and that big tackle. Keep an eye on number 9.
I've always been a firm believer in telling kids this is your assignment, not your job. They're kids. They shouldn't have a job out there. It should be an assignment.
All right. I like that. 1st and 10 for Springville at their own 20. Rolla again in the shotgun. Running back to his left, they bring a wide receiver from the right side towards the middle, and the running back gets the ball, and he's hit in the backfield. Gomez, among others, there to bring him down immediately. Looks like Colton Hamilton at the bottom of that pile.
And it's got to make you think as a running back when you just run into a big green wall if you want to continue to do that.
And Springville's not small. I mean, they have some pretty big offensive linemen over there. I see number 78, Jason Shamblin. He's a big fella. He's taller than everybody else, and he's definitely built. I wouldn't want to run into that guy, but he just got pushed right out of the play right there.
Right.
Springville breaks the huddle, 2nd and 11. Rolla again in the shotgun. They'll put the wide receivers 2 to the right, and they'll bring someone across the formation to the right. High snap, though. He has to try and reel it in, and Colton Hamilton is there, and a sack for a loss. It wasn't Hamilton, actually. It was Mason Groders on the play, the sophomore.
Mason Groders
just ran right into his arms.
And Mason has shown these flashes this year of being just an absolutely dominant defensive end. He's getting closer and closer to being that. Keep an eye on Mason to continue to make plays for the Wolfpack.
That was a great one there.
3rd and 16 for Springville. Rolla in the shotgun. He's in an empty formation. 3 wide to the left, 2 to the right. There's the snap. He looks to the left. Now he acts like he's going to run. He tucks it down, heads to the right side. Being pursued by the Wolfpack. He fires one up way over everybody's head. Incomplete, and it's 4th down.
Well, he did the right thing there and threw it to where no one was going to catch it because didn't want to get another pick.
Brian Gomez was tracking him down and closing quickly. Rolla was out of time. There was no more time to wait there.
I tell you, the way this defense is playing, I wouldn't be surprised to see a block right here.
And the Wolfpack punt return team taking the field. They'll have Blake Beckerink and Gavin Burchanowski deep. And if there's going to be a block here, it's going to come from one of those guys in the defensive end position, Troy Chambers or Daniel Redlecki. Keep an eye on those two here on the punt play. Rolla, the quarterback, takes the snap. He'll pooch punt it over the 40. It'll bounce there and then die, and it's tagged down by Springville at the 40, let's call it the 44-yard line. And that's where the Pack will start their second possession.
Well, they have a little bit longer field, but it's still a very short field.
It's going to be hard for Sawyer to get 200 yards if everything's a 20, 30, 40-yard field.
Well, I think that you and I are probably thinking the same thing. This play is probably going to Sawyer.
I mean, I don't see why not, unless you're going to take a shot over the top or something like that. But Carson White in the shotgun, trips to the left. Whitney to his left. There's the snap. Fakes the give to Whitney. He'll throw the wide receiver screen to the left side. Completes the pass, and up for the first down is, going to see who the receiver was. Is that Johnny Abers once again?
And he does a nice job.
Oh, no, it is Cameron Eining. And not surprising to see Eining get his hands on the football early. That's another athlete you got to let touch the ball.
He's a very quick kid.
Wolfpack quickly break the huddle, 1st and 10. Eining by himself to the left, 2 wide receivers to the right. There's the give to Whitney up the middle. He has running room, drags a man forward. He'll gain about 7 on the play.
Good hard run right there by Sawyer. He made a nice little cut, and I like watching guys do that. I'd rather see him make a cut and run at an angle than run straight up the field, unless you're a Vinny Feliciano.
Well, he runs backwards to go forwards. The things that Vinny Feliciano does from Mercier's prep is incredible.
Yeah, you can't teach that.
And it reminds me a lot of a guy who used to run around down here in the southern tier, Western New York, and and that is J.U. Kalkarick.
Yes. Yeah, he was fun to watch.
J.U. could go over you or he could go around you. It didn't really matter. He was going to go. And that's kind of the way Vinny plays football.
This is terrible to say, but I actually witnessed kids fall on the ground so they didn't have to get run over by JU.
As someone who was run over by him, I probably wish I would have fell on the ground. And it looks like an ankle injury for the Springville player who's still down on the field. Hopefully that's going to be resolved here quickly, and we'll be able to get back to the action. It is 7-0 CSP, 8:18 to play here in the first quarter, and pretty much an ideal start for the Wolfpack here in their homecoming game. 27 yards already for Sawyer Whitney on the day. I'm going to try and keep track of that. See if I can screw it up before we're done. Taking a look at the standings, things are getting pretty interesting as we talked about during the pregame. C-South standings right now, CSP sits 5th before today's game. With a win today, though, they'll move up into the 3rd spot, actually. So things are going to get interesting with playoff seeding. So the way this playoffs work for Class C, the top 4 teams from C North and the top 4 teams from C South are reseeded 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3, 3 versus 2, and so on. So if CSP is the 4 seed, they'll play the 1 from the North. If they're the 3 seed, then they'll get the 2. So obviously it's going to be beneficial for them not to be the 4 seed. You don't want to play the best team in the North. But the North is considered to be the weaker of the 2 leagues. However, what I'm seeing from some of those schools as they continue to go down the stretch, like Barker, Royhart, they're getting the job done. Put up 153 points on the year, only giving up 80. I mean, they're dominating in the wins. So, and Maritime Tapestry also very good. 2nd and 4 for the Pack. Here's a wide receiver screen to Burchanowski to the right side. He breaks 1 tackle. He's off to the races, down to the 15 and the 10. Breaks another tackle, and he gets down to the 5-yard line. Gavin Burchanowski drags 3 defenders, and 15 yards.
That first move made it right there. He faked to the outside of that little sidestep and then took off to his left and cut it up.
So what CSP's offense did was get Springville to suck 9 guys into the box. And as soon as that happened to try to stop Sawyer Whitney, they started throwing these wide receiver screens with great success.
Right.
White in the shotgun now, 1st and goal. Whitney to his left, trips to that side. Waiting for the snap from Watson. Bring a receiver across the formation. They'll follow that receiver. It's Whitney up the middle, and he's going to get a few before being stood up by the defense. A nice play there by number 50, Lane Wurzba. And Wurzba really the only one to stop that touchdown.
That was a time where maybe Sawyer should have cut to the right instead of to the left.
Yeah.
But
and now a Wolfpack player down on the far side of the field. Or is that a Griffin player?
Timeout for an injury.
Well, we're going to take a quick timeout. With that timeout, we'll be right back here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
CSP Wolfpack football coverage is brought to you on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream by Jim's Automotive, located at 13250 Route 6 in Corry. Phone 814-664-9602. Offering a full line of auto parts, propane filling, and more. Jim's Automotive wants to wish the best of luck to the Wolfpack this season.
Wolfpack football on the Channel 98.9 Corry Federal Credit Union Sports Stream is provided in part by Necker's Company General Store, providing Clymer with groceries, apparel, gift items, and so much more for over 100 years. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Necker's Company General Store for their support. Support for Wolfpack football on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided by Moshers Carpeting at 8631 East Main Street in Clymer. Moshers has carpeting and all types of flooring, serving the area for over 27 years. Online at mosherscarpeting.com.
Support for coverage of Wolfpack football on the Channel 98.9 Corry Federal Credit Union Sports Stream is provided in part by Triple E Manufacturing and Design. Triple E Manufacturing and Design offers equine products, promotional items, embroidery, and printing services. Located at 117 Osborne Street in Sherman and at tripleemfg.com. Phone 800-295-4282. The Channel 98.9 Corry Federal Credit Union Sports Stream thanks Triple E Manufacturing and Design for their support. This Wolfpack broadcast is brought to you in part by Cornerstone Restaurant and Bakery at 104 East Main Street in Sherman. The Cornerstone offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner and baked goods. The phone number is 716-234-4002 or find them on Facebook. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks the Cornerstone in Sherman for their support.
2nd and goal here for the Wolfpack as we get back to the action. White in the shotgun. He'll bring Beckerink across the formation. He'll look to throw now to the right. Fires and over his receiver, Burchanowski's head, incomplete. So now 3rd and goal.
Incomplete. 3rd and goal.
7-0 Wolfpack, 7:24 to play here in the first quarter. Brad, a little stall here on the goal line. Got to punch it in now.
Yeah, you definitely get down that close. You got to get points.
So White now in the shotgun. He's going to have Whitney to his right, 2 receivers to that side. There's the snap. They fake the give to Whitney. They'll throw it out to Beckering drops the ball incomplete. And a nice design little fake to Whitney there. And the dump off to Beckering does not work. 4th and goal now for the Wolfpack. What are we dialing up here, Brad?
Well, I'm going to say that they're going to pass again.
And they just brought Sawyer out of the game. So if that doesn't indicate pass, I don't know what does. They bring Sawyer out of the game. They're going to go empty set. White in the backfield all by himself. Groder's over here in the slot. Keep an eye on him. He caught a touchdown pass week 1. There's the snap. He'll look to the right. White fires, has a man, completes the pass in the end zone. Touchdown, CSP.
I tell you, that was just a nice pass right there.
Use Groders to clear out the middle of the end zone there. That was really nice. Burchanowski on the touchdown reception.
Well, they had enough weapons out there that they were going to find one open.
Yeah. So they send the sophomore across the middle on like a quick slant. Then they send Burchanowski behind him on like a delayed slant, and that's what left him wide open.
And I've always said that slant is definitely the toughest pass to defend.
Horton barely gets that one off. A blocker nearly got there, but it's still good. Bailey Oatman came off the right side like a bullet shot out of a gun and nearly blocked that extra point, but didn't phase Michael Horton, who put it right through the crossbar, right through the goalpost anyway, and the Wolfpack lead 14-0.
2 possessions and 2 scores. That's got to please your coaching staff.
Yeah, everything going their way so far. So hopefully, as we said, this conversation about staying motivated is going to be the conversation for the Wolfpack today. It's homecoming, though, right? You want to put 60 on the board.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Springville.
We got a good crowd out here today.
Yeah, absolutely. And Springville, not to belabor the point, they're 0-5, but they have a proud program. They've typically been pretty strong, so they're looking to find some things to start building on for next year.
Yeah, you hate to see a program down like that, and sometimes it takes a couple years to rebuild.
Michael Horton can kick off.
And here comes Horton's kickoff now. It's in the air. 7:15 to play here in the first quarter. Kickoff going to be fielded by Ty Rulin. He's up to the 15 and the 20, and he's hit by the Wolfpack there and brought down immediately. The pack all over him, and looks like Daniel Redlecki leading the way. Daniel only a sophomore as well, making a big impact here for the Wolfpack varsity. They pulled up a couple sophomores who are very impactful. Mason Groders and Daniel Redlecki, the 2 biggest ones. But obviously Sawyer Whitney's only a sophomore as well. And there's a couple guys standing on the sideline who could be very impactful if they get an opportunity. Hopefully we see them as the game goes on. Looking to see what their varsity numbers are. I know their JV numbers, but Max White in the 34. He's typically the fullback. And Connor Morgan in 78 is another one at offensive line that will definitely have an impact. Of course, the star of that JV team, number 33, Dylan Kreiner. There's the snap. Rolla going to try and run with it. He gets hit, but gets past the first man, and Gomez is there waiting for him just past the line of scrimmage, and a late flag comes in. Mason Weber and Brian Gomez on the tackle. That flag came from the back judge. It's an interesting location for that. Maybe holding downfield. Still haven't seen a signal, but it's against CSP.
Right.
And a big one, a 10-yarder. Yes, it was holding on CSP.
Okay.
So defensive holding downfield. Doc called it face mask, but that wasn't the sign.
Springville's first down.
All right, first down for Springville at the 39. Rolla now joined in the backfield with a running back. He has 2 to the right, 1 to the left. He'll look to throw. Looks to the right. Now he's under pressure. He's running for his life. And Troy Chambers is there to make the play. Sack for Troy Chambers.
I would definitely not want Troy Chambers tracking me down.
Ever since this summer when they were in the weight room and my daughter's coming home telling me this kid, he benches more than everybody else in the room and he doesn't even break a sweat when he's doing it. The kid's tough. And he shows it there, just going right through the offensive line like they weren't even in his way.
It's great to see kids dedicate themselves like that.
2nd and 10 now for Springville. Rolla in the shotgun, 3 wide to the right. There's the snap. He looks to that right side. Now he's under pressure. He's running. Wolfpack going to pursue. He fires one up, has a receiver, and Beckering jumps up, denies that pass, and they're going to throw a flag on him.
Wow.
Roll is passed. Ball's incomplete.
So Beckerink on that play, he saw the ball coming, jumped up, but I don't think because he didn't turn his back, he has back to the ball. And I think they're going to call that pass interference because he didn't turn towards the football. Player down for Springville back at the 33-yard line, offensive lineman. This is the third or fourth Springville player we've seen go down today.
Yeah, seems like every other play they're going down.
So we'll wait to see what the result of that penalty was. They're marking it off in the middle of the field here. Looks like marking it off as a 10-yarder, which will move Springville Griffith into the CSP side of the field. They'll be at the 46-yard line now. 1st and 10 there. 6:03 to play here in the first half. 14-0 Wolfpack.
I'm wondering if this isn't, I'm just speculating, but wondering if he didn't just get the gas knocked out of him, took a shot to the midsection or something.
And this team did forfeit a game 2 weeks ago for injury.
Wow.
So they did not have enough active players 2 weeks ago to play a game.
Yeah, it didn't look like there was too many guys on the sideline today over there.
And if you take a look at this roster, this is not correct, the grades on this sheet that I gave you. They have a lot of JV kids pulled up here.
Okay.
So what happened is they were supposed to play CSP and JV this morning. They canceled the JV game. So CSP played at Silver Creek instead. And that was to make sure they had enough players eligible for this varsity game.
Okay.
Number 77, Connor Fife, is the injured player. You want to plug her in. And they're getting Connor off the field now. And he seems to really be struggling getting off the field here. It looks like a right leg injury of some sort.
Okay, so I guess he didn't get the gas knocked out.
No.
Via penalty, Springville.
Having a hard time
I could
seeing
see kids cramping up on a day like today. Cause
yeah. It's a little sneaky warm, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, back to the action. Again, Springville into the CSP side of the field for the first time today. They haven't had a first down on their own, only the penalties. So we'll see if they can keep this drive moving. James Grohl, the quarterback, he fumbles the snap. Wolfpack is there. He picks it up, takes off to his right side. He'll be pursued by Gomez, and then he throws the ball. And I believe the Wolfpack say it was picked, but the refs say no.
Oh,
yes, it was intercepted.
Wow.
And a pick after a 10-yard pass. That's picked off by Gavin Burchanowski.
And that was a sliding, looked like a center fielder diving for a baseball.
And go figure, he also plays baseball and usually plays shortstop or center field. Gavin, also a very talented pitcher on the CSP baseball staff as well. Just an all-around athlete, just one of those guys. But nice play there by Gavin, second pick of the game by the Wolfpack defense.
Well, this is my third game to do with you this year, and Josh, I tell you, I'm seeing some really good athletes on the CSP side.
Gavin only a junior, so they got more time with him as well.
That's great.
White going to go under center now. Here's a pitch to this side. Blake Beckerink, the running back, he's trying to get to the edge, and he does. Has a little room to run. He's going to have a gain of about 16 or 17 on the play.
Good blocking and a nice hard run right there.
And that's that change of pace thing that CSP found as the season has gone on. So what they'll do, and they did this against against Stockwell Lake and against Salamanca, they pound Sawyer Whitney 3, 4, 5 times. Then they go change of direction, and they go with Blake Beckerink, who runs completely different. And typically Blake takes off with the football.
Right.
So first and 10.
That's great to be able to have the luxury to have two running backs like that.
Absolutely.
And a quarterback who can run as well.
Yeah, Carson scored a bunch of rushing touchdowns this year, so don't count that out either. Good point. Burchanowski across the formation. It's a jet sweep to him. He'll take it to the left. He has one man to beat, and the man gets a hold of his jersey just enough to hold up Gavin Burchanowski. Going to be a loss of 3 on the play. Tough play there. It was kind of weird. White kind of flipped the ball to Gavin, and the defense had already read the play. They knew it was going to be the jet sweep.
Right.
Tackle by number 55.
If they run that later and fake that and go the opposite direction, they might get somewhere.
Yeah, fake the jet sweep, quarterback keeper around the end, and Carson White might be dancing in the end zone right now. 2nd and 11, 4:51 to play here in the first quarter. 14-0 CSP. White in the shotgun, trips right with Whitney to that side. Throws the wide receiver screen to that side. Cameron Einink, he makes one man miss, makes another miss, up to the 30 and all the way down to the 26-yard line.
I like the way Cam just looked right there. He saw that he wasn't going to be able to cut, so he just lowered the boom and said, "I'm going to take these guys for another 3."
Einink, no fear when he has the football in his hand. He looks for contact, and Does so right there, makes a nice play in the Wolfpack. Move up to the 28. There's the snap. Give to Whitney on the left side. He's got a little bit of running room, and he'll be caught by the waist there. Otherwise, he was going to be gone. Gain of 6 for Sawyer Whitney. And that, like I said, another touchdown-saving tackle there by number 50, Lane Wurzba. And he's had a couple of those already today on Sawyer Whitney.
Yeah, the Griffins are trying, but they're just outmatched. You can just see it.
2nd and 6. Fakes the give to Whitney. Now White will run it himself to the left side. Makes a nice move around a defender. He'll have the first down and more up inside the 10-yard line.
Appears to be enough for another Wolfpack. First down.
And how about that run right there by Carson White? You talked about it, faking that handoff and letting him run the ball a little bit. And then we see a flash of it right there.
Right.
Carson White is really a deceptive runner because he's so tall. You don't think he's moving very fast, but he's moving.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who looks like he gets 3 and he gets 7.
Yeah. White under center. 3 trips to the right. There's the snap. He'll pitch it to Whitney to the right. Whitney going to get to the edge. He's got room to run. Runs to contact at the 5. He'll get down to the 4 before he's going to be brought down. Going to be a gain of, let's call it a gain of 4 for Sawyer Whitney.
I like the fact that Sawyer keeps his feet moving. When the contact's made, his feet are still going.
Sawyer has 4 carries so far today. So he's got some work to do to get to my goal for him. He's at 38 yards rushing so far. White in the shotgun. Whitney to his right. There's the give to Whitney and to the left side. Whitney going to get around the edge. I don't think anyone's catching him. He's going to turn and take the contact in for the touchdown, his second of the day. Sawyer Whitney, a 6-yard touchdown run.
That was a nice run right there. He just outran the guy that was closest to him. And he turned it on and just hit a different gear.
43 yards now for Sawyer. And 2 scores. It's 20-0 CSP here with 2:54 to play, still in the first quarter. Michael Horton ready to try his 3rd extra point of the game. The snap, the hold, the kick, and it looks like it is right down Main Street once again from Michael Horton. 21-0 CSP. Quick word from our sponsor. We'll be right back here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Wolfpack football on the Channel 98.9 Corry Federal Credit Union Sports Stream is provided in part by Necker's Company General Store, providing Clymer with groceries, apparel, gift items, and so much more for over 100 years. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Necker's Company General Store for their support.
Support for CSP Wolfpack football coverage is provided in part by Tina Dills, ERA Team VP, licensed real estate agent, serving the Wolfpack listening area and all of Chautauqua County with real estate services for buyers, sellers, vacation rentals, and all relocation needs. For more information on how to get your move going, Tina can be reached at 716-397-7790. Tina Dills and the ERA Team VP agents wish the Wolfpack the best of luck.
And welcome back into homecoming here in Panama. Wolfpack ready to kick it away to the Griffins. And that ball in the air, going to be fielded at the 15. And he did kneel when he caught the ball. Blown dead. Ty Rulin was down. And this is a thing that we've seen a couple times this year in New York State football. It's a safety thing, right? So when the return man kneels, it's meant to be a stoppage to protect that player. But they get so frustrated when the ref blows them down when they don't want to be down.
Right. Yeah, once the knee touches, that's it.
It's going to be 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line. 2:52 to play here in the first quarter, 21-0 CSP.
We saw an interesting one last night. Our hurdler, Blake Cook, who is a state champion hurdler, tried to hurdle somebody in the game. That's not allowed in the state of Pennsylvania. And as an announcer, I said, please save that for the spring.
Yeah, right. Did he hurdle him? Did he get it over him?
Yeah.
There's the snap. Rolling to his right, pressure coming from the Wolfpack, and Johnny Abers will force him out of bounds there. Gain of 1 on the play maybe for Rolla.
Short gain on the play.
James Rolla, the senior quarterback safety for Springville Griffith, is really trying everything he can. I mean, he's thrown the ball quite a few times, tries a lot of these misdirection quarterback keeper type runs. Obviously, it's been a tough year for them. He's just trying to make something happen, find some magic in a bottle.
Yeah, and he's up against a really stout defense today, so it's making it even tougher for him.
He evades the sack, throws to the right side, and nearly gets picked off again as Burchanowski had his hands on the ball. The receiver became the defender there and had to knock the ball away from Burchanowski.
Right. Unfortunately, he has 2 things going against him, that heavy pass rush and a great secondary that's got his guys blanketed.
The Wolfpack, their secondary sitting back licking their chops because they know their pass rush is going to make him make a bad throw, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's been one throw yet today Rolo's been able to actually set his feet and throw the football. He's always on the run. 2:37 to play in the first quarter. Here's Rolla now, rolling to his left. He's under pressure again. Here come the Wolfpack, and they're going to get him. Brian Gomez with the sack.
That's really tough, too, as we've talked about, I'm sure, earlier this year, a right-handed quarterback rolling to his left trying to throw. It's a tough thing. It's kind of awkward.
I think that time he went to his left because he keeps going to his right, and then he's got Troy Chambers all over him. So he thought, let me try to go the other way and get away from this guy. And then here comes Gomez and Toby Watson to shut the door. So now 4th and 15 or 16 for the Springville Griffins. Rolla, also their punter. He's in that kind of short punt formation. He'll look to punt to Burchanowski and Beckerink. There's the snap, a low one. He reels it in, and very short pooch punt. Going to go out of bounds at the 30-yard line. It's going to be a 25-yard punt.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's very unfortunate for them.
So he doesn't actually back up like a punter. He's not 12, 15 yards off the ball. He's only maybe a yard or two further back than he is on a regular snap at quarterback. So it's definitely going to be a pooch punt.
Right.
But that's not even, 25 yards. Might as well take another chance to throw the ball.
Right. Yeah, that was not good. You just gave a very good offensive ball 30 yards to go.
And Wolfpack offense already ready to go. 3 wide to the left, 1 to the right. That's Groders by himself to the right. Whitney to White's left. White drops back to pass, looks to his left, fires, has a man on the out route, completes it to Cam Einink. Einink around the corner and in for the CSP touchdown. 30 yards. White to Einink, and the Wolfpack are turning it on. It's 27-0 here in Panama.
That was just a picture-perfect play right there. Great route and a great pass. And Cam did what he does. He just caught the ball and turned it upfield into the end zone.
Brad, you have the biggest game of the regular season next Friday night against the Southwestern Frewsburg Trojans. You need some confidence going into that game. You beat up on Fredonia last week, pretty good, but they came back at the end of the game a little bit. And now you're up 27-0 here in the first quarter. That one is blocked. That time, number 9, Bailey Oatman, did get there and block the kick. He almost did last time, so he's figured something out there on the far right side.
Yeah, nice effort right there, and it's good to see the Griffins still playing and not giving up, because a lot of teams could fold up right now being down 27-0 first quarter.
If we told Dave Bodemer, you're going to start this thing up 27-0, your only mistake of the entire thing will be a couple penalties, I think he'd take that. Pretty happy with that one.
For sure.
See, the coaching staff kind of all getting excited with the players today. I just saw Greg White celebrate with his offense, and that's always nice to see. Greg, I'll tell you what, we talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the season. He moves into this offensive coordinator role, which he kind of was that last year. He was the one in Ty Harper's ear, but it was Ty Harper's team, right?
Right.
Now it's his call. The offense is his offense, and you can see that he's changed some things, but kept some of the stuff that was really successful from the Ty Harper offense.
Right.
And I think even against Chautauqua Lake, he put in some wrinkles that Chris Payne didn't see coming. And Chris Payne, being the defensive coordinator of this team for the last 8 years, you think he would know everything that Greg White was going to throw at him, but he certainly did not. So give Greg some credit. He's really done some good things here.
Good.
Nice kick from Horton, going to take a nice CSP bounce down inside the 10 and be covered at about the 6-yard line by Springville. I think they thought that was going to go out of bounds. They let it bounce, and it did not go anywhere near the sideline.
Yeah, when things are already going bad, they just went worse for the Griffins right there.
Ty Rutland just watching that thing bounce, and it bounced another 10 yards towards the end zone. It's going to be at the 6, and that's where they'll start. And the Wolfpack is excited here defensively. They came out fired up, ready to go with this team backed up.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the Griffins have a first down yet, do they?
They have 2 by penalty, but none that they've earned themselves.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Here comes Springville now on their own 6-yard line. Rolla in the shotgun. He has a back in the backfield with him to his right. 1 wide receiver all the way out to the right. Everybody else in tight. Rolla going to try and follow that running back to the right side. He gets around Gomez. He does turn the corner. Becker ain't going to be the one to bring him down, but it's going to be a gain of about 12 for Rolla.
I did have to say something about a
first down right there.
Much better job of blocking that time for Springville.
Yeah, so what they did is they loaded the box offensively. That seems weird to say. They were in a goal line formation, right? And they ran behind 2 tight ends and their tailback with their quarterback draw. So I guess you get enough blockers out in front, you can turn the corner.
Right. They call that the jumbo package. Right?
Exactly. 1st and 10 at the 20 now for the Griffins. Rolla in the shotgun. And again, that heavy formation, whatever you want to call it, the jumbo package. They'll try that same play to the other side. He's running to his left, and the Wolfpack are not going to give him as much room this time. Short gain on the play for Rolla. He's run out of bounds there by the pack as Daniel Redlecki and Talon Pearson's all over that one. Going to be a gain of 5, though. He's still got quite a bit there, more than I thought he did. And we're down to 54 seconds to play here in the first quarter.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, it's 27-0 CSP.
They jumped out to a quick early lead, have had short fields on every possession but one. And even that one, I think they started at their own 42, so still pretty short of a field. Here comes Springville to the line now. 2nd and 5. The snap to Rolla. And they'll try a reverse, but Brian Gomez blows it up in the backfield. Do you think he was drooling right before he hit that running back? Because he read that play perfectly.
I think so. Yeah, he was all over that.
That was like that moment when you start salivating just knowing you're about to eat a steak. That's exactly what just happened for Brian Gomez as he blows that play up, and it's 3rd and 10 for Springville. We're down under 30 seconds here in the first quarter. I would assume they're going to try and go to the next quarter, and then they break their huddle.
Looks like a bull mastiff on a fresh, juicy steak.
Exactly. Well, they're going to try and sneak one more play in here. We're down to 15 seconds in the quarter. Rolla in the shotgun, 3rd and 10. There's the snap. He'll look to throw. Now he's going to run. There's a flag on the play. He's still on his feet, throwing, has a man. Burchanowski breaks that pass up, trying to go for the interception. And it'll be 4th down. We'll see what the flag is, though. Right. 5.2 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Holding on Springville.
Holding Springville.
And I would assume they're going to decline this, right?
Yes.
And it is declined. So, Brad, we talked about this week 1. Mercy rule in Section 6 is a gentleman's agreement. There's no such thing as a mercy rule in Section 6. So you have to have both coaches agree prior to the game starting that if things get out of hand, we'll have a running clock in the second half.
Right. I sure hope that they did.
Yeah, I would hope so too.
Just to keep it from getting too elevated.
And we'll talk more about mercy here in a few minutes when we get a second.
Okay.
I have an interesting comment on that something I saw in Pennsylvania this last couple of weeks that I want to bring up to you.
Okay.
So, again, we're in that punt situation, and we're going to have a false start on the offensive tackle. And Troy Chambers is pretty happy that he drew that penalty. Oh, it was Mason Weber as well.
Dead ball, foul.
And that'll be a quick mark off, and they'll try and punt it again.
5-yard penalty.
So my comment, Brad, we saw 2 schools in the Pittsburgh area in the Whippeal send letters to their opponents the week before the game asking for mercy.
Wow.
And those letters said things like, hey, listen, we know we can't compete with you, so let's alter the rules of the game and just do 8 minutes quarters in the second half and have the clock run the whole time. And in both cases, their opponents did agree to those mercies.
That's very nice of them to do that. And, it really makes you, unfortunately, it makes you wonder why those games are scheduled like that.
Yeah.
We've seen it over in our area over there where there's, Cathedral Prep playing a team like Seneca or, even Corry. We can't compete with a team that openly recruits. And it's just horrible because those scores get to, 60-0, 70-0, and it does no one any good at all.
Right. And you see it a lot in the Whippeal. There's a couple of schools, maybe a dozen schools down there in Pittsburgh that just destroy everybody they play. Mm-hmm. And one of the schools that asked for mercy was paying Pine Richland, who scores, 50 against a good team. So what are they going to do against a bad team? They're going to score 100,
right.
So I understand it, although as a player or former player, it would offend me if my school district told my opponent that I wasn't good enough to compete.
Right.
And that would really bother me as a competitor.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And that's where I think that as the athletic directors, they should be questioning, when they go to those meetings, should be questioning who's playing against who.
Yeah.
And PIAA irritates me at times with some of their rules and regulations. They're very political, and that's my opinion. But
I think that's every state, because I think we see it a lot in New York. And one of the things that our folks around here will complain about is that CSP's in the C division this year after winning a state championship. As punishment for being competitive, they graduated 21 seniors.
Right.
None of those kids are on this team. And
Yeah.
that gets to people. So the political piece of it is certainly a factor here as well.
Yeah, and it's sickening, actually. Let's keep things on an even keel and try to make things more enjoyable for everybody.
1st and 10 CSP at the 37, driving in. The give to Whitney. He makes one man miss, makes another miss, gets back to the line of scrimmage, now plows forward, and he's going to have enough for a CSP first down.
That's just an incredible job right there by Sawyer to just keep his feet moving, and he just kept moving left and right as he was going, 2 steps forward, 1 to the right, 2 more steps forward, 1 to the left.
Sawyer Whitney, he's only a sophomore. We got a couple more years of this kid developing and becoming a better runner. By his senior year, his football IQ is going to be so high, it's going to be really impressive to watch.
Yeah, I mentioned I watched him as a 6th grader, and I knew he was a special kid then.
The give, again, this time the Beckering to the right side. He gets past one man and then gets stood up. Going to be a gain of about 6 for Blake.
Good job by Blake also. It just kept his feet moving.
I was distracted before that play began. I saw a group of gentlemen walking down the sideline here on the CSP side, a couple of them with cameras. I see Blaine Ruminati and several other of the former state champions from last year here celebrating CSP homecoming with their former teammates.
That's great. I was wondering how many of those kids would be out here today.
Wolfpack now facing 2nd and 4. White waits for the snap. There it is. He'll look to throw to his left side. Now he's under pressure, rolls to his right. He gets away from that man. He's going to have the first down and jump out of bounds there. Gain of about 5 for Carson White.
Good run by Carson.
And that's a nice bailout play. The receiver was actually breaking open, but he would have had to throw right into the traffic that was coming at him.
Right.
So he might have got hit as he was throwing, which could have been a problem, right? So instead, safe play, runs away from it, gets a first down.
And that's the senior making a real good decision right there.
Yep, absolutely. So now it's 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. White in the shotgun, too wide to the left. Gives it to Whitney up the middle. Whitney's going to have some room to run to the right side, and he's in for the 13-yard CSP touchdown, his 3rd of the game.
Great run right there. He just never even really got touched. Got over by the sideline, did a little.
Oh, it's Beckering, not Whitney.
Right.
Sorry, I was going to give credit to Sawyer already. Maybe I just wanted to get the 200 yards.
That was number 3.
So Beckering, like I said, that change of pace, a little bit different kind of running style, and he runs hard. He runs the ball very aggressively. Kick is up, and it is good. So it's 34-0 CSP here with 10:29 to play in the first half.
Wow. Yeah, it's definitely, to say it's all Wolfpack is a gross understatement. They are just clicking on all cylinders, all 3 phases of the game, offense, defense, and special teams.
What's interesting, and I know there's lots of other juniors and seniors who are going to get time here in this game. I want to see if they get to Dylan Kreiner, the sophomore tailback, who has dominated at the JV level. And he played this morning and had a great game. I think he scored 3 or 4 touchdowns this morning. So I don't know how many minutes he's going to really get in this game because he already played a game today.
Right.
But I just want to see him get out here at the varsity level and see if he can do what he does at the JV level at the varsity level. The kid's really impressive.
So now, what level does Silver Creek play at varsity?
Silver Creek's a C school as well.
Okay.
They moved down to D this season as CSP moved up. They switched places.
Okay.
They've been very not competitive the last several years. So they were able to move down to D to try to get a rebound in their program.
And the CSP JV did well today, I take it.
Very well, yes. Horton's kick goes out of bounds around the 10-yard line, so he'll get a flag on that and bring it back up to a good field position for Springville. CSP's JV, I don't have the final score in front of me. I think it was 38-14 or 35-14, something like that.
So they won convincingly then.
Yeah, they gave up both touchdowns, in the garbage minutes with the backups in the game.
Right.
CSP's JV very good this year. Their only real trip up, excuse me, they've only really had one trip up this year. They've otherwise looked really, really good. They looked really good last week against Franklinville, Elkaville, and they've looked really good against pretty much everybody they've played against. So more talent in the pipeline for sure.
Great.
And imagine how good that JV team would be if these other 3 sophomores were still on that squad.
Yeah. So what do we got here?
I'm not sure what the call is here. So it was a kick out of bounds, but they're going to get it to 35.
Penalty is declined.
Interesting. I thought it was at the 40.
1st and 10, Springville.
So now the Griffins started their own 35, down 34-0 here. Rolla in the shotgun, 2 wide to the right. There's the snap. He'll run to his left, follow his tailback, who lead blocks for him. And he's going to get around the corner before being hit by the Wolfpack, gain of about 5 on the play. Brian Gomez among those on the tackle.
A decent run right there.
And Rolla seems to be the do-it-all guy for Springville. He's throwing, he's running, he's tackling, and running for his life most of the time, unfortunately for him. Clock down to 10 minutes to play.
You mentioned right at the start of the game the receivers from Springville are small, and these guys are. They're quite small.
23 over there on the far side, lining up. He's going to line up on the far side as a receiver. He's the shortest guy on the field by probably 6 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Not even comparable. Number 9, who just crossed the formation as well, very short. Handoff up the middle with some running room is number 20. 20. He's not listed on their roster, so don't know who he is.
I don't know, but he's a good size fellow.
He ran the ball pretty hard right there and got a first down for Springville. They'll have a first down at the 48.5-yard line or so. Clock ticks down to 9:30 to play here in the first half, and I think both teams would like to see that clock keep on rolling at this point. If you're the Wolfpack, just getting closer to your dance tonight and having some fun with your friends.
That's right.
And then if you're Springville, getting out of here without being too embarrassed would probably be the goal at this point. Rolla again in the shotgun with that tailback to his left. Bring a man across the formation. He'll look to throw. Pressure's coming. He's going to have to run again. Gets away to the left side. Gomez is there to chase him out of bounds. Gain of about 3 on the play.
Rolla, keeper on the play.
Gomez showed him the shoulder. Showed him the shoulder. There we go. I got it out. And Rolla said, no thank you. Went right out of bounds.
Right. I don't blame him.
Especially when it's Brian Gomez in the flat. That's not going to feel good. Switching out Daniel Redlecki and Mason Groders on this next play. Going to be 2nd and 7 for Springville. Too wide to this side, too wide to the far side. The running back to the right of Rolla. There's the snap. Rolla going to look to throw. Pressure coming. He'll try to take off, but guess what? The pack is waiting. Mason Groders brings him down.
Rolla on the carry.
And I believe that is a sack. It was about a yard loss. So
yeah, that was once again like running into the big green wall.
Yep. And started with Troy Chambers. He got past the offensive tackle, got in the backfield, forced Rolla forward right into that defensive line, and he had nowhere to go.
I like the way they play their defensive ends because they kind of flow more so than shooting.
Right. 3rd and 7 now. 8:15 to play in the first half. 34-0 CSP. 3 wide to the right. Rolla waiting. Sends a receiver across the formation right to left. He gets a high snap, reels it in. Pressure's already there, and they're going to bring him down immediately. It's going to be Groders and looks like Matthew Redlecki, the 2 guys who got there.
Groders and Redlecki on the sack.
4th and 9 for Springville.
4th and 9.
7:45 to play here in the first half.
A spot where you have to go for it if you're Springville.
Yeah, they're up to midfield, right?
Going.
Yeah. I mean, they've turned it over in way worse field position than this. So
right.
Wolfpack set up for a punt return. We'll see what happens here. They come out in a regular offensive formation, 3 wide to the left, 2 to the right. Rolla in the shotgun there. He'll take the snap. He'll look to run. Pressure coming. He moves to his right, throws the ball, and it's out in front of his receiver, incomplete, and they'll turn the ball over on downs.
Yeah, he had a lot of heat on him. That's a tough play to try to make right there.
Again, threw off his front foot on the run to the left, and it's just not conducive to him completing these passes.
No.
So the Wolfpack takes over at midfield, and everything's worked offensively. Try something new now? Get some confidence build up in some things that you've been working on in practice?
Yeah, actually, I wouldn't show my hand too much because of the big game next week.
Right, you got to be careful with that for sure.
But, try maybe a couple different runs right now.
3 wide to the left. Whitney also to that side. White barks out the orders. Here's the handoff to Whitney up the middle. Sawyer going to pull the pile forward for a gain of 4.
It's nice to see the CSP guys down in Corry for the football games cheering on the Corry kids on Friday nights, and then I'm sure there are some Corry guys here today.
There's some nice crossover happening now. I think it's the proximity is now understood that it's not, a million miles away. Corry's only just around the corner for a lot of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Handoff up the middle. Going to drag that pile forward for a first down, and look at that. Just pulls 3 guys over as he falls forward. Gain of 7 on the play. That was Beckerink that time for the Wolfpack.
It is enough. 1st and 10 Wolfpack.
6:42 now in the first half. 34-0 CSP.
From their 39-yard line.
And they're up to the 39 already. Carson White in the shotgun. 2 wide to either side. There's the snap. The give to Beckerink. He'll get hit after a short gain, and he drags that pile forward again. Doing a good job of, once the momentum stopped, having a great second effort.
Yeah, we talk about the yak, yards after contact, and he's definitely a good example of that. He's getting 3 more yards after he gets hit.
Exactly. Yeah, big play there again from that tough running style of Blake Beckerink, and it's 2nd and 5 for the Wolfpack now. The other nice thing about this drive is they are running a ton of clock out as they just kind of meticulously are driving down the field here. White in the shotgun, 3 wide to the right, 1 to the left. He awaits the snap. There it is. He'll pitch it to Whitney. Whitney going to get to the edge. He'll get past one man, fall forward, and he somehow stayed on his feet. How did he do that? Gain of about 11 for Sawyer Whitney.
That was incredible. He was getting pulled down, and he kept his balance somehow. Wow.
Well, they marked him down at the back up. Going to give him only 4 yards, not 11.
Didn't look like his knee touched, though. But
yeah, I guess maybe we couldn't see it through the traffic, but looked to me like he stayed on his feet too. So, All right, 3rd and 1 for the Pack now. 5:15 to play here in this first half. Break the huddle. White going to go under center. Fullback behind him, and Whitney the tailback. The snap, quarterback sneak, and White's going to take off up the middle. He'll get a whole bunch on that sneak, all the way up to almost the 20. Going to be a 9 or 10 yard quarterback sneak there.
That's got to be terrible if you're on the defense going, who's going to get the ball this time,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Can we stop them?
The minute you plug the box and put everybody in the middle right there, they're just going to pitch it out to one of those running backs and go around the end, So 4:45 to play, first down for the Pack. Down to the 18-yard line. White under center again. Again, the fullback stays in. That's Gomez. White checks out the defense. He'll move Burchanowski from his wide-out spot across the formation to the right side. There's the snap, a pitch to that right side. It's Beckerink with the carry. He'll turn the corner, go down to about the 5, and get thrown out of bounds there. And a tough tackle there by the Griffins. They make a nice touchdown-saving tackle. That was Cole Gable.
4:16 to play here in the first half, Josh. And like you said, this is just a nice sustained drive and chewing some time.
They've used up 4.5 minutes of clock already on this drive. And assumably going to try to use up another minute or so before they punch this thing in. And that play got called back.
The CSP Football Club.
Must have been a holding call there. I didn't see it, Brad.
I didn't either.
Congratulations, Jarrett.
So now it'll be 1st and 15 for the Wolfpack. They'll stay with that heavy formation. Gomez behind White, who's under center. White going to move Burchanowski from way out to the left to closer to the line of scrimmage. There's the snap. And he's going to roll out the pass to his left side. He fires, has a man. It's Mason Groders. He comes down with it.
Oh, my.
And he's in for the touchdown. Oh, wow. He's out of bounds at the 1. He did not score.
What a grab. That's concentration right there.
That ball bobbled right out of his hands, and he saw the panic for a second, and then he somehow reeled it back in. What a play by a sophomore.
Jeez.
So they mark him down at the 4-yard line, looks like. Clock running down to 4 minutes to play here in the half. Wolfpack break the huddle. So Groders kind of broke out late there. He's in that tight end position, and it was like a delayed release for him. Worked out really nice there for the Wolfpack.
Sure did.
There's the snap to give to Gomez up the middle. He'll power forward for a couple yards before being stopped, and again, keeping that clock rolling here, Brad. Second and goal from about the 3 now for the Wolfpack. Certainly spreading it around. Beckerink's been into the end zone. Sawyer's been into the end zone. Burchanowski. They're not keeping it to one guy. They're definitely sharing the touchdown party here.
No, they're sharing it with all their weapons.
White takes the snap, gives to Gomez again. Gomez pushes the pile forward for a CSP touchdown. And that's we talk about sharing it. There's another guy. Brian Gomez gets the touchdown. And it's 40-0 here in Panama.
And 3:30 still to play in the first half. 40-0.
So here's the thing about New York State football. We talk about running up the score. We talk about gentlemen's agreements. We talk about, Ty Harper shutting it down at a certain point when he was the coach here. They're incentivized to score points in league. One of the determining factors of playoff seeding is how many points you've scored. So if I have the same record as you and we didn't play each other head-to-head, or if we did and we split, other games so that everything worked out to be the same measurement,
right,
it's points for.
Oh, wow.
And points for is how they're ranked if you look at the section website. So points for could cost you a playoff berth if you don't score.
Yeah.
So when you get these games, you kind of have to.
Mm-hmm. And that's unfortunate. They might want to revisit that sometime and try to figure out a better system because...
Yeah, I know a lot of other states have gone away. Pennsylvania, for example, went away from points for probably 25, 30 years ago.
Right.
Because they saw that. They saw schools like Aliquippa scoring 90 against teams because they wanted to get that points for number.
Grove City was like that for a little while, too, under a certain coach, and he was not a very well-liked man because of the scores that they beat. Grove City beat Franklin 92-12. They beat Corry 77-0. They were winning 49-0 at halftime. They come out an onside kick.
Wow.
Yeah, those things will help that name of the other coach ring in your mind for a long time.
For sure.
And unfortunately, other teams think the next time I have the opportunity to get them back, I'm going to do that. You don't like to see that.
Horton's kick bobbled by the defender and down at the 16-yard line. That's number 15, Ty Rulin, and he's had some trouble with the kickoffs today. A couple of them got away from him. Other than the one that Horton kicked out of bounds, he's really been solid in the kicking game today.
Mm-hmm.
3:28 still to play here in the first half. It feels like it's the end of the game with this score.
Right.
And this is tough if you're the coaching staff to dial these guys back now, too. We talk about it from a coaching perspective, but from a player perspective, it's hard to stop when you're 16 years old and you just want to run up that scoreboard.
Yeah, exactly.
Springville going to come out, take the ball at the 18-yard line. Rolla in the shotgun. There's the snap. He's going to look to throw. Looks to his left. That guy's not open. Now he's got pressure in his face, and he's going to try and dump it off. He does complete the pass. Short gain on the play up to number 9, Bailey Oatman. And Oatman kind of came out of nowhere and pulled that ball in. He's taken down by Brian Gomez. Gain of 4 on the play. And Troy Chambers made sure Rolla paid for letting that ball go as he was right there on top of him.
Yeah, Chambers has been in the backfield as much as the running backs for Springville today.
Yeah, I think no one's stopping Troy Chambers today, no doubt about it. So we look forward a little bit to next week. Southwestern Frewsburg, big battle, right? This is the top team in Class C in the section. They're now the favorites to win the class for the section. And they beat the two biggest competitions, two teams that both beat CSP, Salamanca and Chautauqua Lake, and they beat them both in blowouts.
Wow.
But in both those games, one guy did a lot of it. Not saying he did all of it, but he did a lot of it. And we'll have a quick flip out by Springville to the left side, tackled there, and brought down by Blake Beckering, gain of 3 on the play. So one guy who's had a huge part of that Southwestern victories is Trent Lewis. He's their star quarterback. He is, I believe, their leading rusher. And he also plays defense and makes impacts on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, boy.
So I mentioned to you, I don't know, maybe talking to Doc before the game, and told him, if it was me, I would just assign Cam Einig to Trent. You live here. This is where you're at. You only stay here. Doesn't matter what he does. You stay with him. Mm-hmm. Is that enough to stop him? I don't know. But
yep. I always call that the spy. You're going to be the spy today. You're on that guy. It doesn't matter where he goes. If he goes into the bathroom, follow him.
Exactly. 3rd and 2. Here's the snap. Rolla going to take off to his right. Fires over his receiver's head, incomplete. And it's 4th down again. 1:33 to play here in the half. 41-0 CSP. And I'm not giving anything away by saying that. I think any coach who's watching what Southwestern's doing knows you have to control this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He's the one who's getting it done. I think 5 touchdowns against Chautauqua Lake and 4 or 5 against Salamanca. I mean, he's really, really good.
Right.
But Southwestern as a whole, solid program. They get to the quarterback. Their defensive ends are in the backfield all the time. It's going to be a challenge for CSP.
Well, I'm sure that Coach Bodemer and his staff will work very hard this next week to get these guys ready. They probably tell them after today, enjoy yourselves tonight, have a great time, come ready to get after it on Monday.
And there's lots of good film to watch. That's one of the nice things, You have a team that's that good, there's plenty of film on them. So maybe they can find a wrinkle or a few and make it a game. Going into the Chautauqua Lake game, a lot of people didn't think CSP was going to hang with Chautauqua Lake, and they did. And they were a play away from winning that game. I'm not saying that's the way it's going to go with Southwestern, but who knows? That's the beauty of high school football. You never know.
No, that's it. I guess my theory is high school football, expect the unexpected.
Absolutely. And we saw that last night in, again, a little further away, but a PA game. Newcastle, who's knocked off 2 really good opponents in a row, looks like they're back on top of the world Newcastle football of the 70s and 80s, and then they go and lose to a terrible program last night who has only like 2 or 3 wins on the season.
Wow. A
game they should have won by 50, and it just makes you scratch your head and say, what the heck happened there?
Yeah, you always hope, when you're looking at your schedule at the beginning of the year, you see those games and you're going, we got to watch these letdown games because we're on a roll. We can't let down. Another team in PA that I've been following closely, I'm friends with the head coach. He was the head coach in Corry, Homer Delatre's Hollidaysburg Golden Tigers. They're 8-0 right now.
Yeah, they dominated.
They played Selinsgrove last night and beat them 42-14.
Yep, I saw that score. Another really dominant program over the last couple of years. They've really turned into quite the program.
Yes.
4th and short. High snap. He's going to take off with it, and he's going to have the 1st down and more. He's running down the middle of the field. He's down to the 40, the 30, one man to beat, and he's tackled at the 25. Touchdown saving tackle there by the Wolfpack. And that is not what anyone expected on that 4th and punting situation. Burchanowski saves the touchdown.
No, there's the expect the unexpected.
And I think that was meant to be a punt, but the snap was so bad he decided to take off with it.
Yeah.
So Rolla.
He saw a seam and he took it too, and he hit it quick.
Biggest play of the game for Springville there. What is it? A 42-yard quarterback keeper up the middle for Rolla. And they'll take a timeout with 1:22 to play here in the first half. We'll take a quick one as well.
Support for Wolfpack football on the Channel 98.9 Corry Federal Credit Union Sports Stream is provided in part by Utegg's Body Shop in Corry, offering collision repair and refinishing along with frame straightening services. 699 East Smith Street in Corry or at uteggsbodyshop.com. Phone 814-663-2562. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Utegg's Body Shop for their support.
Man, I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, I wanted to get back in the game, so I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students, and I get paid to make the big calls. Do you want to see the game up close?
And back to the action here in Panama. 1:22 to play. Springville, 1st and 10. It's a jet sweep flip play and sniffed out by Troy Chambers after a gain of about 3.
He got a half a step by Troy, and Troy was like, wait a minute, come back.
Going to give him a gain of 2 on that, so it's 2nd and 8. Clock down to 1 minute to play here in the half. Rolla under center. He'll spike the ball. Interesting.
Rolla stops the clock.
The team that hasn't moved the ball very well spikes the ball on 2nd and 8, so now they're faced with 3rd and 8. Granted, it's at the 22-yard line or whatever it is, but They have not shown the ability to pick up an 8-yard first down.
No.
But maybe they don't have any sort of hurry-up offense built in. Right now they're probably just still working on some basics, right?
Yeah, I would think.
So 3rd and 7.5, 8. I feel like the quarter has drug on, even though the Wolfpack ran off 7 minutes of the clock on the last possession. 41-0 the score here in Panama. Springville going to go empty. Rolla in the backfield alone. High snap, he reels it in, takes off to his left. Pressure coming. He tries to dump the ball off, incomplete. 4th and 8.
And he had his man, had he thrown it a little harder.
Yeah, he threw it at his feet, right?
Right.
And interesting, again, Rolla under pressure immediately. It's like no one touched Troy Chambers that time. Wolfpack ready to go. Huge 4th down here for Springville as they're trying to get something positive to happen here before the half. 54 seconds to play. They break the huddle. They'll go 3 wide to the left, 1 to the right. Wide receivers going to send 1 from the left across to the right, make it balanced. Rolla rolls to his left. He'll try to set his feet. Here comes the pressure. He can't. Goes back to his right. Still under pressure, trying to find a man. He's going to run all the way to the sideline. He completes a pass to his running back. Gain of about 1 on the play. And it'll be a turnover on downs.
Wow.
And it only ran off about 10 seconds.
Yeah. He was running for his life there. Scrambling and lucky to get the ball off.
So here's one of those weird situations. There's 43 seconds left, right? You would think CSP is going to come out and kneel it here.
Right.
Just go to the half. But do you throw one up here?
Well, if you were telling me about those points, you know.
The points 4 thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And Wolfpack went out with a wide receiver formation, and then they changed some personnel after they started. Beckrink going to be in the backfield. Now they're going to go heavy. They have, excuse me, Gomez and Beckrink in the backfield. And there is that kneel down. Hey, I finally guessed one right. It's not a guess, honestly, but, you know, it's one of those things where these coaches like to prove you wrong, I think, on purpose sometimes.
Right.
So they'll have to kneel it one more time.
The referees have a way of doing that with me. I say where the ball is spotted because they're standing at that point, and then they do a left foot spot or a right foot spot, and I'm proven wrong by a yard.
Yeah. Still think my favorite of the year, though, Brad, we had 1st and 10 for CSP, back-to-back penalties on their opponents, 5-yard penalties. They measured and said it was not a first down. That was probably the most fun one so far this season. That was at the Salamanca game. And that will be the end of the first half, 41-0 CSP. Brad, we'll kick it off to our sponsors here for a few minutes, come back with a halftime show. We're going to have to find some things to talk about here in the second half.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you for joining us on the 98.9 Sports Stream. We'll send you to halftime and be right back here in Panama.
Thanks for listening to this broadcast of CSP Wolfpack football coverage on the Channel 98.9 Corry Federal Credit Union Sports Stream at channel989.org. Stay tuned. The Corry Federal Credit Union halftime show is coming up shortly.
WHYP-LP Corry.
The Corry Federal Credit Union is the platinum sponsor of CSP Wolfpack football play-by-play coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream. The Corry Federal Credit Union would like to wish the Wolfpack the best of luck this season. The Corry Federal Credit Union has been serving the community since 1958. They offer a wide range of financial and banking services for you and your business. The Corry Federal Credit Union is located at 728 Worth Street in Corry, 56 North Main Street in Union City, 315 Main Street in Spartanburg, and online at corryfcu.org. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks the Corry Federal Credit Union, a not-for-profit organization, for their support of CSP Wolfpack football play-by-play.
This is Channel 98.9 Music. This is Channel 98.9 Music.
You are the only exception. You are the only exception.
And this is Channel 98.9 Music.
So who the hell am I? Who the hell am I to expect a savior? Oh, if I only talk to God when I need a favor. But God, I need a
Corry's Radio Alternative, Channel 98.9.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I was sensitive to lights and sounds, so I built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. Sometimes I do the same things over and over, until one day I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Bob Stye. I host the Grunge Garage. We take you back to the 1990s with all your favorite alternative and Britpop songs. I know you missed these songs, and you got them all with me. Plus, once an hour, we do mandatory Morrissey and a salute to my favorite, sad but mighty lyrical god. The Grunge Garage with me, Bob Stye. It's a trip to the 1990s, and you're gonna love it. Check it out every Saturday night from 8 p.m. to midnight, right here on Channel 98.9.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Coach's Corner on the Channel 98.9 Corry Federal Credit Union Sports Stream is brought to you by Countertop Solutions and Climber. High-T Fencing Systems at high-t-fenceinc.com. The Dutch Village Restaurant at Climber, dutchvillage.net. Cornerstone Restaurant at 104 East Main Street in Sherman. First Place Auto Glass at 1794 Foote Avenue in Jamestown. 716-450-0847. Troyer's Greenhouse and Deer Processing in Panama. TroyersGreenhouse.com. Cabot Farms in Clymer. 716-355-6458. Rock Solid General Contracting. The right choice on so many levels. Phone 716-499-2406. And by Lictus Oil and Propane and the Corry Federal Credit Union.
Corry's only locally operated radio station is Channel 98.9. With your eerie weather, your favorite personalities.
Thank you so much for joining us on a Monday.
You see today local news, entertainment, and information around the clock. And Corry's Modern Rock. Channel 98.9, your one radio station.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You're bringing your daughter to a pop concert. Do you A, wear earplugs?
Isn't this fun, Dad?
I'll have a soft pretzel.
Or B, just roll with it?
Justin! OMG! I love you, Justin! I love you!
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Angela Morton. I help bring awareness of drug and alcohol issues to rural areas. Let's talk about addiction. Did you know addiction is a medical condition that is treatable? Using drugs or alcohol changes your brain, and treatment can help people recover from addiction. If you or someone you know are struggling with drugs or alcohol or wonder if you might be addicted, help is available even if you don't have insurance. It's your life and your decision. It just starts with a phone call. Call 1-800-662-HELP and ask about treatment options in your area. This message is brought to you by Channel 98.9, Corry's Radio Alternative.
CSP Wolfpack football coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is powered by Lictus Oil and Propane and Climber. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for being a major sponsor of CSP Sports.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is often laced into illicit drugs and used to make fake versions of prescription pills. You can't see it, taste it, or smell it. Suppliers mix fentanyl into their products because it's potent and cheap, and the dealer might not even know. Keep yourself and others safe by knowing the real deal on fentanyl. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
I'm Dave W. Phillips along with my sidekicks Taryn McKenna. We have a new show here on Channel 98.9. It's called Studio B. Indie alternative music, SoCal style. Studio B is new, cutting-edge music from up-and-coming artists or artists you may not have heard of before. Studio B, Sundays at 7 p.m. right here on Channel 98.9, Corry's Radio Alternative.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
What is dedication? My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that my kids wouldn't have a father. And I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. I definitely had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it. That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is Channel 98.9 Music. This is Channel 98.9 Music. And this is Channel 98.9 Music. Corry's Radio Alternative, Channel 98.9.
Thanks for tuning in to CSP Wolfpack football play-by-play coverage on the Channel 98.9 Corry Federal Credit Union Sports Stream, powered by Lictus Oil and Propane. The halftime show is a presentation of the Corry Federal Credit Union. The Corry Federal Credit Union is the platinum sponsor of CSP Wolfpack football play-by-play coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream. The Corry Federal Credit Union would like to wish the Wolfpack the best of luck this season. The Corry Federal Credit Union has been serving the community since 1958. They offer a wide range of financial and banking services for you and your business. The Corry Federal Credit Union is located at 728 Worth Street in Corry, 56 North Main Street in Union City, 315 Main Street in Spartansburg, and online at corryfcu.org. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks the Corry Federal Credit Union, a not-for-profit organization, for their support of CSP Wolfpack football play-by-play. CSP Wolfpack football coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is powered by Lictus Oil and Propane and Climber. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for being a major sponsor of CSP Sports.
CSP Wolfpack coverage on the Channel 98.9 sports stream is provided in part by Steve Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating, Plumbing, and Air Conditioning, located at 147 East Main Street, Corry, PA. They offer residential and light commercial new services, as well as electrical repairs, well pumps, and water conditioning systems. Phone 814-665-6034. Online at flicksheatingplumbingandac.com. We thank Steve Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating and Plumbing for their support of Wolfpack football coverage.
Wolfpack football on the Channel 98.9 Corry Federal Credit Union sports stream is provided in part by Countertop Solutions, a proud supporter of Wolfpack athletics. Countertop Solutions wishes the Wolfpack luck in their pursuit of excellence on the field.
This Wolfpack broadcast is brought to you in part by Cornerstone Restaurant and Bakery at 104 East Main Street in Sherman. The Cornerstone offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and baked goods. The phone number is 716-234-4002, or find them on Facebook. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks the Cornerstone in Sherman for their support.
Support for CSP Wolfpack football coverage is provided in part by Tina Dills, ERA Team VP, licensed real estate agent, serving the Wolfpack listening area and all of Chautauqua County with real estate services for buyers, sellers, vacation rentals, and all relocation needs. For more information on how to get your move going, Tina can be reached at 716-397-7790. Tina Dills and the ERA Team VP agents wish the Wolfpack the best of luck.
Support for Wolfpack football on the Channel 98.9 Corry Federal Credit Union sports stream is provided in part by Utegg's Body Shop in Corry, offering collision repair and refinishing along with frame straightening services. 699 East Smith Street in Corry or at uteggsbodyshop.com. Phone 814-663-2562. Channel 98.9 sports stream thanks Utegg's Body Shop for their support.
Back here in Panama, and it feels like a final score here at halftime. 41-0 CSP on top of Springville Griffith. And we'll get ready for a second half that should see us get the opportunity to see some names who don't get a lot of playing time. And that will be interesting for us. I don't know if it'll be as interesting for you fans, but for me, I mentioned in the first half, there's some JV kids I'm excited to see what they can do at the varsity level. One of them had a huge game today. I want to shout him out because I didn't mention him in the previous conversation about JV kids. Keaton Graves. He wears number 11 on the varsity squad, number 3 for the JV team. He, not exaggerating, I think he delivered 7 or 8 punishing hits today against the Silver Creek team. He was playing just over his head. I mean, just absolutely flattening people. And he's a small guy. And, really, really excited to see the kind of game he had. I hope that translates for him into the varsity level. Get out on the field, make a few plays today. I know he gets out on the kickoff team here and there, but I'd like to see him, actually for some sustained action on the defensive side of the ball or even running the ball, which he also does for the JV squad. Wolfpack coming back to their sideline now after those homecoming festivities at halftime. And Brad, was as impressive as I said? A lot of kids on the field.
Very impressive, and it's totally different from the way we're used to things over on the PA side of the things, but very interesting, and it is very cool to see that you have 3 schools represented, and the way they do that. That was very neat. I liked it.
Yeah, it's definitely a different experience here with these 3 schools as the Wolfpack take their sideline slowly here. It's kind of a weird halftime when you have these extra festivities like this, and it definitely makes for kind of a momentum killer a little bit. Luckily, they have a 41-point lead. I don't think it's anything to worry about here.
Yeah, we always talk about that, the homecoming, like we had senior night last night over at Corry. Anytime you have those special things going on, it's emotional for the kids. During the week, they have all kinds of fun things for their homecoming, leading up to homecoming. Some of that stuff can be a distraction, but a good coaching staff will keep the kids focused in practice, and that's where it's all at. And then, translate into the game.
And I think even Friday, they had the parade here in Panama yesterday. And prior to the parade, I happened to take a glimpse of what was happening at practice, and it was an intense walkthrough. The coaching staff was barking. They were engaged. It was not, this is screw-around time. This was focused football team looking to make a statement today against a team that they should beat, but now they're trying to beat in a convincing fashion and get ready for a big matchup with Southwestern next week.
Right. Now, so starting the second half, they'll probably start the starters again going out. Do you think that the coaches will maybe keep the offense the offensive starting line in there and filter in some of the the running backs, the JV running backs and stuff, to let them run behind that big line, see what it's like?
Yeah, I would say 3/5 of your starting line will probably stay in. They'll probably rotate the other 2 positions with their backup guys, their juniors and seniors that don't get to play. And then I see right here in front of us, Johnny Abers taking snaps from his one of his backup centers. So don't be shocked to see a quarterback change here in the second half to Johnny Abers. And I was wondering who would be that quarterback for CSP behind Carson White, as Johnny was a quarterback at the JV level, but has played wide receiver largely here at the varsity level.
Right.
Beyond Johnny, the next quarterback, I guess, in the group coming up is Lance Griswold, who's a sophomore, and actually on the field, Dylan Kreiner, who's the running back who fills in for Lance when Lance is hurt, and he plays quarterback a little bit as well. So after those 2 guys, the next quarterback is like down into the I think there's one freshman, Trevor White, plays quarterback. That's Carson's little brother.
Right.
And I think that's the only quarterback all the way down to the 6th or 7th grade.
Wow.
So they got to figure out their quarterbacks down the stretch here.
Yeah.
It's a tough position to develop,
It sure is.
I think there's would be a 7th grader, I guess, this year is Matthew Colsty, who plays quarterback for the CSP modified team. And Matthew, he can really sling the ball. It's just about refining the skills and getting him to that point. He's got some time, but I have some excitement there to see what Matthew can do.
It's interesting. I mentioned Homer Delatre earlier from Hollidaysburg. He comes in usually in the spring and does a quarterback clinic down in Corry, so maybe I could get a hold of Coach Bodemer
some of these CSP
let him
kids
know
there,
and send some young guys over.
It'll be interesting, once you go past the Carson White, season, I guess you'd say, because he's a senior. You have to make a transition.
Right.
And they were playing the anthem here. Got to get it for the second half as well. It's a new game.
Right.
Refs waiting to get this thing started here. And typically they do a mandatory 3-minute stretching session after halftime. But because halftime was extended, I think they just assumed that both teams got that time in. Not going to happen. So we're okay with that. Keeps us rolling here. Should see a rolling clock here. What I've been told from everybody around here, that was the agreement. So
good. That's a smart way to do things. There's no sense in, making it astronomical to score. And you just never know. And here's another situation here too, Josh, is, you get these JV guys in there. You can't tell them not to play.
No, you want them to go play.
Right.
Exactly. You want them to do stuff. And I've seen that with CSP in the past. Last year they were pulling their starters at every game basically by halftime. And you put in Carson White and these guys and tell them just to go manage the clock. That's not fair to them. So, in order for those guys to get the work they needed, they had to try to score as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's certainly the situation you're going to see this afternoon. Springville going to have to kick it off to start the second half if they're not already in a big enough negative situation here, down 41. Wolfpack 3 deep. This is a different kick return set than we've seen from them before. Birchanowski in the middle. Pearsons and Beckerink to either side. Persons and Beckerink to either side. There's the boot, a short one, going to be almost an onside, going to be fielded there. And they lost the ball, though. The ball came out, and Springville signaling that CSP has it. I think that's not what they mean. And it is Springville ball at the CSP 44-yard line. And it was funny. They came out of that pile signaling that CSP had the ball. Not what anybody wanted on the CSP side there to start this thing off.
No.
From the CSP 44-yard line.
I'm not sure if CSP didn't have their hands team out there, or if they didn't expect the onside kick, but kicked right into an offensive lineman's chest and bounced off his chest and got loose where Springville got the ball.
That'll be something that they probably will work on.
Oh, for sure. 1st and 10 for Springville at the 44. James Rowland, the quarterback, going to be in an empty set now. 3 to the left, 1 and 2 to the right. He brings one across the formation towards the backfield. He'll give him the jet sweep, and the Wolfpack 2 players actually tackled each other there in the backfield. And the running back going to get about 10 on the play, knocked out of bounds by Persons.
Number 24, Aiden Diermeyer.
Looks like a different team out there for Springville.
Yeah, they came out with some fire after that onside kick. Quick first down.
It appears to be enough.
Now, what happened interestingly there, Troy Chambers came through as did Matthew Redlecki, and it seemed like they almost tackled each other in the backfield.
Right.
1st and 10 for Springville. Rolla in the shotgun, drops back to pass, looks to the right side, fires, has a man. That man is hit immediately, but holds on to the football. What a catch, but he's hurt. Number 15, Ty Rulin, got wrecked by Johnny Abers. And it looks like he's holding his knee.
It was a clean hit.
Number 15,
but
Ty Ruland on the reception.
And when you're in Abers' position as a cornerback, that's the only thing you can do, right? Try and run through the man.
Right.
Because otherwise he's going to catch that ball. So.
Yep, and you have to be the hammer, not the nail.
That's
you
right.
You don't want the running or the receiver to have the momentum coming into you.
Tending to Rulin, who has been their kick returner as well today, Ty Rulin. So we'll see what happens there. Looks like checking out the knee. 11:17 to play here in the third quarter, 41-0 CSP. That was the score at halftime. A couple touchdowns for Sawyer Whitney, a couple for Blake Beckerink, and one for Burchanowski has one, and then Gomez got one at the end of the half, right?
Right, Gomez.
So Carson White also, we figure he's going to be done here as long as the score remains the same or is extended by CSP.
Mm-hmm.
He has been in at quarterback for every snap so far this year. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when he is pulled from the game and Johnny Abers or someone else takes over at quarterback. A couple guys on the sideline getting excited for their opportunity to get in, including Spencer Emery and Michael Spiesman, a couple of those guys who we've seen flashes of here and there throughout the season, but not consistently. Should get some playing time here in the second half. I'm excited to see those guys get on the field.
Yeah, it's always exciting, and you know the kids get fired up and all excited. Their buddies get to see them out there in action. Their parents, grandparents, whoever might be in attendance,
especially homecoming,
viewing
right?
this.
All your friends are here.
Right.
Michael Spiesman, for example, just was mentioned as a member of the homecoming court. He was out there for that, and now going to get a chance in the second half to go out and make an impact for his team. Nothing better to go to that dance and feel like you accomplished something. Exactly. And then go out there and maybe have a chance to be Prince or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Icing on the cake there, right?
And the injured player, Rulin, being walked off to the far sideline.
It's good to see him walking off on
mostly his own power.
Right. Both feet are touching the ground when he's walking. That's a good thing.
It'll be 2nd and 7 after that play. A vicious hit from Johnny Abers. And here comes Rolla. He'll have a running back to his left. 2 wide to the right, 2 to the left as well. Rolla takes the snap. He'll look to the left. Pressure coming. He's going to try to find a way away from it. Gets around Daniel Redlecki. He's got time now. Here comes Gomez, and he'll chase him out of bounds for a short gain.
Lula on the keeper. Pushed out of bounds by Brian Gomez.
And the Wolfpack all over that one once again. Daniel Redlecki, who was in at defensive end that time, unable to seal the edge and let Rolla get around him, but not really anywhere for him to go as he just ran to the sideline to get away from Brian Gomez.
Right. They made something positive out of something that definitely looked negative.
Rolla in the shotgun. 2 wide to either side again. 3rd and 3. Here's the snap. He's going to roll to his left. Man gets knocked down. He fires one out, completes a pass out there to the flat. 1st down and more. Up to the 15 is Bailey Oatman. Oatman's second big reception of the day for the Griffins. And
yeah, that was a nice route right there. Just did a little out and just a nice pass, a nice catch.
I know, or at least I think he probably is. Chris Barmore probably has checked in a few times to see how we're doing here today in Panama. He's out west to watch his older son, Cam, and the Arizona Wildcats take on BYU tonight. And I know he's excited. A couple of tight ends have left that program, increasing Cam's role. So nice. 2 catches last week. I think he had a special teams tackle the week before. Starting to see more and more of Cam Barmore on the field for the Wildcats.
That's great.
1st and 10 for the Griffins. And in the backfield, quick hit, and Colton Hamilton is the man once again.
Once you run into those big arms, you aren't going too far.
Loss of about 5 on the play. And I'm just imagining his dad sitting over there, you know, in the barracks or whatever, and just hearing his kid's name after all these big plays and just jumping up and down. Everybody around him is looking at him like he's crazy. I hope that's what's happening. If it's not, I'm going to be disappointed. Colton giving him something to cheer about here as the Pack leads 41-0. 2nd and 15 for the Griffins. Rolla again in the shotgun. 3 wide to his left. He looks to the left. Now he'll roll to his right. Pressure coming. Wolfpack right there. He gets around the man to the edge and jumps out of bounds before being hit by Watson. Going to be a short gain for him. Not really a ton, but better than throwing that ball away.
Yeah, he was definitely feeling the pressure that time. I believe that was Troy Chambers, number 54, dove at him right at the end there and narrowly missed him.
So they gave him a gain of about 6 on that play. 3rd and 8 for the Griffins. 9:38 to play here in the third quarter. 41-0 CSP. Although Springville in the red zone for the first time on their own today. There's the snap, high one. He has to reel it in. Here comes the pressure, and he's gonna get away from a man, get to the edge, get hit as he throws, and almost threw a completed touchdown pass just behind his receiver. Incomplete.
Falls incomplete. 4th down.
And that was probably the best looking route he had from one of his receivers all day. Unfortunately for Rolla, unable to set his feet there.
Yeah, that was Matthew Redlecki was on him.
Yeah. Redlecki is persistent. He got around him initially, but Redlecki's like, nah, I don't think so. 4th down and 8 for the Griffins. James Rolla in the shotgun, having a conversation with one of his receivers now. They'll go 3 wide to the right. That's the short side of the field. 2 to the far side. There's the snap. He looks to that far left side. He's going to try and run around Daniel Redlecki to that far sideline. He's going for that first down marker, and he's going to get really close. And it looks like he's going to get there depending on the spot. Still. Oh, that spot's really close.
Official timeout.
And I think they're going to measure this 3 feet away from the chains.
Wow.
The ball was marked just inside the field of play, right by the chains, and they're going to bring the chains up closer. What do you think, Brad? Did they get it? It's really close.
That is very close.
Looks like it's going to be short here.
Yeah, it's short, but I believe.
Turnover on down. CSP football.
That was less than a foot.
Very close.
I had the binoculars on it. It was less than a foot away. Wow.
And interesting situation now for Springville. Everything went right on that drive, except for a yard short, right, or a foot short.
Mm-hmm.
So now they give the ball back to CSP, who made a mistake to start the second half. And you have to assume now you're going to just punch the ball up the middle and settle things down, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to keep that starting O in for a few plays here, maybe this drive.
Wolfpack come out with a different look than what I expected, I guess. Beckerink in the backfield. Horton in at slot receiver. Typically when you see Horton out there, it's a passing formation. He's used a lot of times in the blocking game on like those wide receiver screens and things like that. Although we've seen him catch a few passes in the seam down the middle too, so don't count him out. White talking it over with the rest of his team, getting ready to get things started here for the Wolfpack. White calls for the ball. There it is. He'll hand it off up the middle. Beckerink goes forward now he's dragging the pile forward several more yards. And for the third or fourth time today, Blake Beckerink drags a whole pile of people forward for 3 or 4 more yards after contact.
He does a tremendous job of keeping those feet moving, and legs are the strongest part of your body, and he uses them.
It'll be 2nd and 6 for the Wolfpack. They'll send Mason Groders to the far side with another receiver to that side. And to the near side, it looks like Horton and Persons. Handoff up the middle. And that's Beckerink again. Not going to get very much there. Short gain.
Gang tackled by the Griffins.
And now third and middle distance for the Wolfpack. Johnny Abers comes in. Michael Horton comes out. Looks like maybe a passing offense here. White still flanked by Beckerink in the backfield. The snap. Looking to throw is White. He fires one. Has his man. Completes it up to the 30, the 40. Up to midfield. All the way down to the 40. He's not going to be touched. The 10, the 5, touchdown, CSP. Hayden Sexton with the touchdown reception.
That was at 87 yards. Wow.
87 yards, White to Sexton. And Sexton ran that seam route that I was talking about Horton running earlier. And, man, he was wide open over the middle, and there was no catching him.
Yeah, he got behind everybody, and that was that. In a hurry.
Hayden Sexton showing off the wheels. Another guy who we don't get to talk about enough on this CSP offense. Hayden gets on the field quite a bit, but overshadowed sometimes by some of the bigger receivers like Cam Einink. Michael Horton for the extra point now. The snap, the hold, and he'll take off to the right side as that was about to be blocked as well, and he throws it away as he's being tackled over there on the right side. And I don't think that was intended to be a two-point conversion or a fake there. I think he just took off because it was a bad snap.
Yeah.
All right.
47-0.
And 7:52 still to play in the third quarter.
Yes.
This thing is not moving fast enough.
The CSP football club
As the fans here in Panama, and there's quite a few of them, there's a really good turnout today. Enjoy, it's fun to enjoy a big win, but at some point you're ready to just go have the dance, go get ready. Everybody's got to go take their time to take their pictures with their family and friends and all that sort of stuff. And it takes quite a bit of time to do all that stuff. So and everybody starts looking at the clock saying, come on, let's finish this thing. Wolfpack going to get ready to kick it away here. So with this win, and I have to assume that they're going to win, they're up 47-0 here. The Wolfpack will move to 4-2 on the year, 3-2 in league, and will jump up into that third spot. So 5th to 3rd with a win today is pretty nice.
Yes. So then next week's game, the crucial game and pivotal game, will be very important.
Yeah.
So are there two more games after this, right?
So there's Southwestern, and then there's Portville, who's one spot behind CSP in the standings.
Okay.
Bouncing kick, going to roll down to about the 12, and they'll fall on it there. Will Grant Molaski.
Is down by Springville.
And that'll give them another really long field for the Griffins. See how many Wolfpack young guys get in here. Jackson Wells on the field. Haven't seen his name called a whole lot this year. A couple other younger guys out there. So starting to mix in the 2s and 3s a little bit.
Yeah. That's good to see.
And I see Spencer Emery on the defensive line. Hard to miss him. He really came on during the Salamanca game and stopped the run up the middle. He really made a difference. And for a guy who never really played football since he was a little kid, really came back and became part of this defense. So good to see him back out there as well.
Yeah, it's great to see kids get back after an absence.
Rolla takes the snap. He's going to look to throw. Rolling to his left with pressure in his face. Fires one up. And a diving attempt by the running back to catch that. And it's incomplete. Doc said so it must be true.
Right.
Second and 10, Griffin.
Honestly, I thought that back got back to the ball. It was one of those diving catches. It was going to be very close. And from our angle, it was hard to see what exactly happened there.
It looked like that official that called it was right there on it. So,
second and 10 at the 13. 7:42 to play in the third quarter. 47-0 CSP. Rolla in the shotgun. He'll move to his right. Now here comes pressure in his face. They got a hold of him, and down he goes. Sack in the backfield for CSP. And Jackson Wells on the sack. So I just mentioned that he Doesn't get as much playing time as he sometimes did in JV, and now he makes an impact right there.
Yeah, that was a great play.
And I see Mason Moore coming back into the game. He'll take over for Spencer Emery now. And timeout on the field. We'll take a quick timeout here on the radio as well. A word from our sponsors here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
The Corry Federal Credit Union is the platinum sponsor of CSP Wolfpack football play-by-play coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream. The Corry Federal Credit Union would like to wish the Wolfpack the best of luck this season. The Corry Federal Credit Union has been serving the community since 1958. They offer a wide range of financial and banking services for you and your business. The Corry Federal Credit Union is located at 728 Worth Street in Corry, 56 North Main Street in Union City, 315 Main Street in Spartanburg, and online at corryfcu.org. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks the Corry Federal Credit Union, a not-for-profit organization, for their support of CSP Wolfpack football play-by-play. CSP Wolfpack football coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is powered by Lictus Oil and Propane and Climber. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for being a major sponsor of CSP Sports.
Welcome back in here to Panama. 3rd and 10 for Springville. Trailing 47-0. There's the snap, a high one roller, reels it in. Pressure already coming. He has to roll to his left to escape it. Gomez waits for him there, chases him to the sideline, and shoves him out of bounds just past the 20-yard line.
Far sideline, pushed out of bounds by Brian Gomez. 4th down.
The CSP defense is still being stingy.
4th and 5.
And with backups in, still making plays like that. So. Man, so 4th and 5 now for Springville. Clock down to 6:56 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Burchanowski deep for CSP on punt coverage. And gonna tackle Rolla on the fake. He got 2 or 3 yards and maybe even lost a couple yards. And they'll give the Wolfpack the ball back in the red zone.
Yes, that's not good. That is not good.
Well, any question to what's going to happen here with the Wolfpack offense? Yeah, they're trying to figure out who's going on the field. And it looks like all 2s and 3s now. Johnny Aber is going to be at quarterback. And there you go.
And you have to be thinking that the Springville defense is wearing out too. They got to be very tired. They've been on the field a lot.
Aber's under center, 2 backs behind him. There's the snap, the give on the left side. A little bit of running room, breaks a tackle. There's a flag coming in and pushes the pile forward before finally getting stopped. I believe Lincoln Gibbs on the carry. Yep, it was Lincoln Gibbs. And I'm waiting for the flag. Find out exactly what that was, unless you saw it, Brad. I haven't seen him signal yet.
No, I did not.
I'm stepping it off. 5-yarder, or half the distance to the goal, I guess. Looks like it may be a face mask call.
Personal foul, Springville.
So now they'll have 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. Aber's under center, 2 backs behind him, 1 wide out to either side. Aber's running some clock here. He'll go under center. He gets the warning from the back judge on clock. He hands it off to the fullback up the middle. Gomez for maybe a yard before he's brought down. And it'll be 3rd down for the Wolfpack. Now, do you just run the ball again here, and if you don't get it in, that's okay? Or do you let the backups try and score one here?
If you would like to sign the senior boards located on the fence,
Yeah.
please.
I'd let the backups play.
This is your last half to
If that's the case, it's not a fullback dive, right?
Right.
Gomez still in at fullback. Gibbs the tailback. Abers under center. One wide to either side. And like I said, the backup's in. Michael Spiesman, the backup center. He'll snap the ball to Abers. Abers, the give to Gibbs. Gibbs going to turn it upfield. He'll push the pile forward. Very close to the goal line, but not quite enough. And that'll bring up fourth down.
Carried by number 30, Lincoln Gibbs.
And he looked a lot closer than where that spot is.
Yes. That was it was a good run. He just cut it back to the left and almost made it in.
3rd and goal at the 3-yard line.
3rd and goal from the 4-yard line.
Wolfpack break the huddle. Man, this offensive line with the backups in looks even bigger than the starting offensive line. There's some big boys out there. Brandon Hirsch and company. Abers running more clock. Down to 4 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. He goes under center. Snap on 3rd and 4. The give to Gibbs. Gibbs powers forward. And he gets a yard or two before being pushed back by the Springville defense. 4th and goal now.
Tackle by number 9, Bailey Oatman.
I'm not sure why the clock stopped here. Oh, there it goes. It was stopped for a moment. 4th and 4. 4th and 3. Wolfpack going to change up who's on the field. And you see Cam Einink coming out there. They're going to try for a field goal here.
Okay.
Red Lucky to snap.
Einink will hold for Horton. Horton waits for the ball. There's the snap. Einink puts it down. Einink gets the ball down well, and Horton's kick is good. Michael Horton, a nice little field goal there. And it's 50-0.
I like the way Michael Horton kicks the ball. He takes one step, basically, and just kicks the ball.
You just wind up and swing it.
Yep.
No reason to back up 3, 4, 5 steps like some of the kickers do. He's not trying to kick 50-yard field goals here.
Right.
And he tacks 3 more on the board for the Wolfpack. And they hit the halfway to 100 point.
Right.
And Brad, I mean, we have to assume unless, somebody breaks one or something, that's probably the end of the scoring for CSP.
Yes, I would think.
Clock at 3:18 to play in the 3rd quarter. We talked about a running clock. I don't know if that's hopefully when we get to the 4th here, it's going to roll, and we won't have to complete the 4th quarter in its entirety.
Correct. Yeah, I would like to see that. I'd like to see that happen as well. Just let it run.
Horton getting ready to kick this one off.
That's a long enough ride to Springville or back again.
That's a tough ride home, yeah.
Without licking your wounds and getting beat 50-0.
There's the boot from Horton. Going to be fielded, and the return man falls down at the 6, and that's where, the 11, and that's where they'll start. Bailey Oatman, the return man that time, and he just went down, and as soon as he went down, that was the end of it.
Yeah. Nothing's been going their way really today at all.
See, a lot of the JV guys have arrived, JV guys and girl, as I see my daughter out there as well, have arrived and from their game this morning to support the varsity team. See a lot of them on the sideline, and congrats to them on another big win today. The JV squad continues to impress, and other than the ones who are dressed for today's game, there's a lot of talent on that squad that I'm excited to see come up through as well.
Right.
Coach Hare and Coach White, who are the primary coaches, and Coach Derek Hosier on that JV squad, doing a great job with that group and mixing in a lot of cool wrinkles and different things that we didn't see at the modified level for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Springville.
Yep, those guys been around the game a while.
That's right. Rolla in the shotgun. He'll run it, quarterback draw, and he slips and falls after a nice little gain. He gets about 7 on the play. Well, they didn't mark him down a lot shorter than that, only 3. Where the ball was after he fell down was about 7 yards, so they must have had him down just before that. Down to 2:50 to play in the 3rd quarter. Rolla in the shotgun. 2 wide to either side, running back to his left. Brings one across the formation from left to right. There's the snap. He'll look to his left. Now he'll roll to his right. Pressure there. He's going to have to dance back and forth. Now he's going to get hit and brought down. Wolfpack all over it.
Number 55.
And it looks like that one was Caleb Anderson on the sack, the junior. And Anderson, a great baseball player as well. Somebody I had the privilege of calling some games of, some cool things he did on the baseball field. And I know that they call him Harold on the team. That's his nickname. So congrats to Harold on that nice play.
3rd and 12.
Yeah, that was really nice. That's he's getting after it right there.
3rd and 11 at the 13-yard line. James Rolla waits for the snap. There it is. He'll look to his left now. He'll roll that way. Pressure coming. He fires one up, has a man, and it's nearly caught.
Wow.
Oatman had it, but dropped it as he fell down.
4th down, Springville.
It was a nice pass.
That was probably Rolla's best pass of the game, right into the hands of his receiver. 1:36 to play in the third. It seems like all these passes just keep stopping the clock and prolonging the inevitable here. We'll wait and see what they do here on 4th down in their own end. Got to imagine they're going to punt this thing away here. I mean, they did try to go for the fake last time, and it didn't work out too well, and they gave the ball back to CSP, resulting in that Horton field goal.
Who do you have back deep here?
Looks like Burchanowski, right?
Okay. Couldn't see his number.
Rolla in that short pooch position, and they're going to look like they're going to go for it again. Burchanowski going to go up and play safety. And now Rolla does put one in the air. Burchanowski will fair catch that at the 36-yard line. And that's where the Wolfpack offense takes over.
That's a good job by Burchanowski to just drift back there. And
he came up to play safety. He's like, oh, wait a minute. No, I'm still a kick returner. So a lot of starters still in on defense on that possession. I think that was the exclamation point for the defensive side right there. Want to make sure they preserve this shutout and make sure Springville knows you're not just going to go down the sidelines on us right now.
Right.
You know, late game trash points. So that backup offense back into the game. I mean, again, great to see these guys out here on the field. A lot of names out there that do not get a lot of starting offensive reps. They're looking at the sideline for some information here.
Go, Howie!
Looks like they're waiting on a guy, Caleb Anderson. He's going to be the far side tight end. Wasn't in the field in the game yet. There's the snap. Abers gives to Gibbs. Gibbs going to get past one man and then brought down after a short gain.
Gibbs on the carry.
Lincoln Gibbs, he got some carries down the stretch for CSP last year in the state playoff run. They'd get up by large numbers and have to go to their backups, and Lincoln Gibbs would come in, and he was a very consistent, safe back, didn't fumble the ball, and so it was nice to see him as a change of pace guy at the end of the game, especially after you saw what that Wolfpack team did with Colin Ryan at tailback and guys like that who just ran people over. So
yeah, that experience is so valuable to a young guy like that.
2nd and 8 now for CSP. This will be the final play of the third quarter. Abers under center. There's the snap, the give to Gomez, and he's going to go nowhere. And that will take us to the 4th and final quarter here in Panama. 50-0 CSP. Brad, it's been a fun one so far. I think everybody's ready for the dance.
Yes, I believe so. I can hear somebody warming up.
A little bit different than what you see in PA. We talked a little bit about this, I think, on air and off air. But in Pennsylvania, you see a lot of schools, there's a lot of pomp and circumstance to football in PA. You got all the marching bands, which we don't have in New York. You have, homecoming week. The parades here they're okay, but it's a big deal in Pennsylvania.
Yes, our parade was 50 minutes, probably.
I think ours was about 12.
Yeah, and their festivities during the week, they have like a colors day. They have all kinds of different themes for each day of the week. And it trickles down all the way to the little kids at the intermediate school and the primary schools. So from the preschool kids all the way up to the seniors in high school.
Yep.
Everybody is involved. The teachers get involved. Everyone does.
One of the other things I like about PA football that we don't have here in New York, and maybe just an education for our viewers, but PA football, it is an entire town that is there on the sideline. It is not just the parents who have kids on the field. Everybody shows up.
Right.
And explain how that works. I mean, even for some of these bigger towns, we see it, go as big as Meadville. Everybody shows up for a Meadville game, even if they're 2-7,
Right, and you see people, come up to you in the grocery store and are asking you questions about it or talking about it, and what did you think? And
3rd and 9 Wolfpack.
it's always nice being part of the media because you can really share a lot with people.
3rd and 9 for CSP. Start the fourth quarter. Abers under center. 3 wide to the left. Tailback behind him. Really long count from Abers. He's just hanging out down there. Now he gets the snap, a pitch to the left side. Gibbs going to try to get to the edge. Gets past one man, and then he gets hit hard, knocked down for a loss of about 2 on the play. Gibbs had nowhere to go there. No blocking on the edge.
Now he was kind of hung out to dry there.
4th down for CSP now. At the 32-yard line. And I see our punter is on the sideline.
This is the sun coming out like this is a picturesque fall day here in Panama.
That's right. Beautiful now. Most beautiful weather we've had in an entire week here in Panama. Abers in the shotgun now. This is his first shotgun snap of the game. 3 wide to the right. Waiting for the snap. Still waiting. Long count. There's the snap. He'll move to his right. He's going to run that way and get hit and brought down for a loss on the play. Turnover on downs.
Well, he took a big hit, too.
And he's holding his right shoulder.
That's what you hope for in a game like this, that nobody gets hurt.
Yeah.
You hope for that every game, but I mean, in a lopsided score like this, you're hoping that everybody can get out of it without getting banged up.
Yeah, especially a kid like Johnny who's talented enough to play multiple positions and do a lot of different things for this program. Well, we're in the injury timeout. We'll take a quick word from our sponsor here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
CSP Wolfpack coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided in part by Steve Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating, Plumbing, and Air Conditioning, located at 147 East Main Street, Corry, PA. They offer residential and light commercial new services, as well as electrical repairs, well pumps, and water conditioning systems. Phone 814-665-6034. Online at flicksheatingplumbingandac.com. We thank Steve Daniels Electric and Flicks Heating and Plumbing for their support of Wolfpack football coverage.
Johnny Abers comes off favoring his left arm and holding it like maybe he's got an arm stinger or something going on there. We'll see who comes in at quarterback on the next CSP offensive possession.
Yeah, that's he was acting like he said like a stinger. Hopefully that's all it is.
He'll be checked out on the CSP bench. Meanwhile, Springville going to get the ball back here at the 37-yard line. 1st and 10 for them there. 10:20 to play. The clock is now rolling, as we suspected it would here in the fourth quarter. There's the snap. Rolo looks to pass. And he'll complete one up the middle. Nice little pass there. And the first man to hit him didn't get him down. Takes 3 more Wolfpack players to finish the tackle. And looks like Hayden Sexton finally finishes him off.
That's a big fullback right there.
And getting him the ball in motion is probably a really smart decision if you're Springville.
Yes.
Like you said, he's a big guy. He gets ahead of steam built up and then flip him the ball in motion, and that's dangerous. He'll line up in the slot to that far side. I still don't know his name because he's not on the roster, but he'll cross the formation. Mason Groder's in the backfield, flag there as he was about to make the sack and chases down Rolla from behind. What a play by Mason Groders.
Good hustle.
Not only did he get held, he almost got knocked down and then still found a way to chase down the quarterback.
Springville get called for the hold.
And we'll wait here a minute as they mark off that holding penalty. Clock stopped, at least during that penalty mark-off. And the clock restarts.
And it's still not moving fast enough for Springville. That's
Can you
for
put
sure.
it on double time? Fast forward.
Put another battery in that scoreboard.
9:30 to play, 50-0 CSP.
They're probably hoping we hook it up to a train battery.
Rolla again in the shotgun. There's the snap to him. He'll look to pass. Looks to his right, rolls to his right. Pressure coming. He gets around Daniel Radlecki, fires one up, hits his man, but it may have been out of bounds, and they're going to say he caught that. Gain of quite a bit on that play.
That was a very nice pass on the run right there.
Going to be a gain of 14. No, I'm sorry, 24. Gain of 24 on that play. Their biggest play of the game.
We certainly don't mean to slight anybody by the comments about the clock moving faster and stuff, but we wish Springville the best of luck the rest of the way through. Hopefully they stay healthy.
The clock has stopped, so my comment about the rolling clock in the fourth was incorrect. He went out of bounds in that play. The clock has stopped. 9:10 to play. Rolla in the shotgun. There's the snap. He'll roll to his left with a blocker in front of him. He's got room to run, does Rolla. He'll get to the edge and run out of bounds there. Beckerink and Sexton make sure he gets no further, but enough for a first down.
Even though he got the first down, still the Pack did a nice job of stringing that out and not giving him a whole lot.
Still looking to see how many of these young guys get some playing time here. A lot of the defensive starters still either in or cycling in and out. To Hand in there on defensive line. Daniel Radlecki getting more minutes, the sophomore. There's the snap, a high one. Rolla going to roll to his right. Pressure coming. Here comes the hit, and he flips it to the running back. Going to have the first down there. Nice job coming to contact and pushing the defender back. First down, Springville.
The Bailey Outland bowling over a Wolfpack defender.
And the clock down to 8:30 to play. That was Oatman on that catch, and he's made a couple nice plays for Springville today.
Yeah, he runs good routes, and he's got real good hands.
Clock still running, and even the Springville offense in no hurry right now. Although they're looking to get their first score of the game, it might be big for them. Get that 0 off the scoreboard.
Right.
2nd and 2. Rolla in the shotgun. There's the snap. He'll run to his left. Pressure coming now. He will not get to the edge as he's brought down immediately by the Wolfpack. Short gain for him there. Mason Groders makes the play again. He's had his name called a few times today.
I catch the weird little things, Josh. I was just watching the quarterback running to his left with his ball in his right hand.
Yeah.
That's a no-no.
Towards the defender.
Right. Not a good idea.
You know, it's interesting, and that's something you say you catch the small things. You see how many runners run with the ball on the inside arm instead of the outside arm. It happens all the time now.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like they've stopped teaching that at the youth level.
Right. We used to teach that and show them. You know, you're saying, here, take this, or knock it out of my hand.
3rd and 1 for Springville. 7:20 to play. Rolla again in the shotgun. The 41 of Hogan beside him. Or no, sorry, it's the 44 of Gunio. Here goes Rolla behind Gunio. He's going to try and get to the sideline and does. Enough for the first down, I'm sure. And a late hit flag going to be thrown there on CSP. Jackson Wells tackled him out of bounds and just a step too late there. So that'll be half a distance to the goal penalty.
Wolfpack penalty, personal foul.
Wait for Jackson Wells' penalty to be marked off.
Out of bounds. 1st and goal, Springville.
Well, we are under 6 minutes, or 7 minutes, excuse me now.
4 yards from their first score of the day are the Springville Griffins. And a false start on the offensive line there. The right side of the offensive line took off too soon. Fans, next Friday, 7 p.m., Doc Doink and myself live from Southwestern as the Wolfpack take on the Southwestern Frewsburg Trojans in what is a huge matchup for the top of Class C South.
And I almost forgot.
5-yard penalty on Springville.
Thank you to all the sponsors, as usual. But special thank you to the Troyers Greenhouse. I spoke with Mrs. Troyer today. She said they still have mums, pumpkins, and straw bales. So go see her for that. And they also have started their processing for deer.
Oh, yeah. It's that time again already, man. They go right from the flowers to the deer almost seamlessly. They do a great job of doing both. Happy to have them aboard and be part of what we do here in Springville. Very close to the touchdown here. Down to the goal line, but not in.
Wow. What a great effort on the defense right there. They just came up and I think they stopped them. They did.
And there was a fumble on the play, according to Doc. I didn't see that, but we'll go with what the old wily veteran tells us.
Right.
Second and goal for the Griffins. There's the snap. Rolla going to run to his left. He has room to run. Now he'll flip it into the end zone. Touchdown, Springville.
Touchdown pass.
He hits Oatman in the end zone, and that was a nice play. He drew the cornerback and the linebacker both forward to try to stop his run, and then just flipped it over their head to his waiting receiver.
Miller.
And it's good to see Springville get on the board, get rid of that goose egg, but I'm sure CSP was kind of hoping that wasn't going to happen.
50-6 with 6:36 to play, and still wondering about Johnny Abers down here. Looks like he's up and moving, and oh no, he has his shoulder pads off actually, sitting next to the water jug here. I just realized that's him.
Okay.
So he's definitely not coming back in the game.
No. Nope.
And a timeout on the field, a timeout here on the 98.9 Sports Stream.
Support for coverage of Wolfpack football on the Channel 98.9 Corry Federal Credit Union Sports Stream is provided in part by Triple E Manufacturing and Design. Triple E Manufacturing and Design offers equine products, promotional items, embroidery, and printing services. Located at 117 Osborne Street in Sherman and at tripleemfg.com. Phone 800-295-4288.
Corry's only locally operated radio station is Channel 98.9 with your eerie weather, your favorite personalities.
Welcome back into Panama. CSP leads 50-6. Extra point attempt for Springville. The snap, the hold, the kick. It is good. So it's 50-7 here in Panama. 6 minutes and 36 seconds away from celebrating this win and having a fun dance tonight for the CSP faithful. And then all eyes turn to Southwestern. And, you know, I would have said after the Chautauqua Lake game, CSP plays a close game with Salamanca, a close game with Chautauqua Lake, and I'm thinking, you know, maybe they could pull it off against Southwestern and make this whole thing very interesting. Then Southwestern comes and just stomps Chautauqua Lake and Salamanca. And that makes you question, is this team beatable? Is Southwestern that good?
Right. Yeah, that'll be a big question mark until that ball gets, the final whistle, actually.
That's right.
Come kickoff, we'll find out how ready CSP is for that big matchup there. And, you know, anybody around CSP football is pulling for the big win right there. That would be something. That would definitely
shake things up, yeah.
Yeah, shake things up big time.
Wolfpack getting ready to receive a kick here, but a timeout because they didn't like something that they saw. Probably weren't ready for that hands team once again. Not sure what Springville's going to do here. They might try the onside again.
Right.
CSP Football Club, fourth quarter, $200 winner. Congratulations to Cole.
And then after next week's game, CSP will finish up with Portville the weekend after that, and then it'll be playoff time. The way playoffs work for Class C, the first round game is at the higher seed. The second round game is at the higher seed. The third round game is at the higher seed. And then the championship for the class is at the Bill Stadium in Buffalo, Orchard Park to be specific, where Section 6 will determine its champion and who they'll send off to the Far West Regionals to face the Section 5 champs. where last year CSP faced a really, really good football team and absolutely destroyed them. Everybody talked all week it was going to be an offensive battle. Both teams were going to score 60. Only one team had the offense show up that night, and it was the state champion Wolfpack.
Yeah, I listened to those games, and I really enjoyed you guys' broadcast. It was a lot of fun to listen to the Pack and to listen to them all the way through the state championship.
This onside kick also gets past the initial man who dove on it. They're still fighting for it at the bottom of the pile, and a Springville player comes up with the ball. 2 onside kicks, 2 recoveries for Springville.
Wow. Well, they got something going for them today.
Again, that's number 20. I don't know who that is for the Griffins, but he has had a heck of a day for them.
Yeah, he might have just taken it away down there.
Yeah, from the bottom of the pile, yeah. Because I do think whoever the Wolfpack player was may have re-recovered it once they initially fumbled it. So, but he reached in there, snagged it where the refs couldn't see it, and came up with the football. So they'll start at the CSP 49 with 6:34 to play. Maybe we won't have to see who plays quarterback here. CSP's not going to play offense the rest of this game.
If they just drag this drive out here.
Or
don't drag it out too late, though, long because it looks like rain coming.
Yeah, it went from sunny to now threat of rain. Rolla on the run. He's getting chased down from behind. Gets away from Groders. Fires and is intercepted.
Wow.
Intercepted by Gomez. Nope, by Beckering. And he got hammered by his own teammate after intercepting. I believe it was Jackson Wells that hit him. Beckering, though, held on to the football, and the Wolfpack take over there at the 45. Now we'll see who plays quarterback. Looks like Carson White heading back out on the field.
First and 10 CSP from their
that was a huge play right there.
So one thing I noticed, we talked about those JV guys. I don't know if they're ineligible because they played this morning. I don't know how that works.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't see Dylan Kreiner down there in uniform, and Dylan would be the third quarterback today. So I'm going to assume that he's not dressed. I don't know. I think if you play JV that day, you can't play varsity the same day.
Okay. That makes sense.
That's a rule clarification I'll have to get for you guys in the future. White takes the snap, hands it off to Gibbs. Gibbs going to try to get around the end. He will not. Loss of 5 on the play.
Big loss on the play.
And Gibbs, seems like a lot of times he's kind of running from a hole in the backfield and trying to run out around the defenders.
Right. Need to be going forward.
And 15.
Clock running, though, down under 5 minutes, 4:40 to play. 50-7 CSP. And I see James Rolla, the quarterback, running back out on the field to play safety. This guy plays both sides of the ball for this team. And you got to give him credit. Both him and Bailey Oatman, who caught that touchdown pass, these guys don't stop. I mean, they're down 50-7 for the 5th time this year, basically. And they're not giving up. They're here to fight.
Right. And you like seeing that.
White running as much clock as he can. He'll go under center with a fullback and a tailback behind him. The give to the right side. And it's Gibbs again, and he's going to get a short gain. Let's call it 2 on the play.
Gibbs on the carry. Short gain on
that time he was definitely going forward, and he hit the line of scrimmage quickly.
Yeah, that time they ran him behind Gomez, and I think that helps a lot to move the ball forward.
Right.
Brian Gomez with reckless abandon through the hole, blocking the first man he sees. I wouldn't want to be that linebacker who comes wandering into that hole when Gomez comes through. 3rd and 11 for CSP. Clock down to 3:30 to play. White going to go under center with the 2 backs behind him once again. He'll run more clock here. And there's the sign of 5 seconds to go here. 4. And he's getting counted down. He'll snap the ball. The give to Gibbs. Gibbs going to try to get to the edge on the left side. He does make some hay over there, and he'll have the first down. And a headshot there just after the first down as Bailey Oatman hammers Gibbs, but Gibbs holds on to the football.
He almost decleated him on that one.
And Oatman hit him real high. That was way up in the neck.
Right.
And they mark him down just shy of the first down. They mark him out at 4th and inches. Unreal. Down to 2:50 to play. Wolfpack and a quarterback sneak it here. I think this is going to be another Lincoln Gibbs carry right up the middle. 2:40 to play. The snap, the give to Gibbs. He's hit initially in the backfield, but he gets the first down. Nice second effort by Lincoln Gibbs. And that first down will seal the deal here today. Not that it was been in question since about the first quarter when it was 27-0. 50-7. We need a Flicks Heating Daniels Electric player of the game.
Ooh.
And it's going to be a tough choice.
Yes.
A lot of guys got the job done today. You know, somebody who's sneaking in my head, and I don't have his stats in front of me. I'd have to go down and confer with our stats people. Mason Groder's name. I've said his name a ton of times on defense.
Yes.
Now, I could go like with the standard answer and go Sawyer Whitney. Right? Sawyer had a great day. I could go Blake Beckering. He had a good day. But let's get away from that. The same three guys we pick every week. Let's pick somebody different. Well, you got anybody else besides Mason Groders that's ringing in your ears?
Actually, he seems to be the one. I mean, he did a lot today. Like I said, you called him more so than anyone else, I believe.
Gomez up the middle. No gain on the play. Clock down to 140. Let's do it. Let's make it official. Flicks Heating, Daniels Electric Player of the Game, goes to the sophomore Mason Groders, a great role player for this team and continuing to get his name called over and over and over again. Happy to have him be the player of the game today and give him that honor. And I know the team has been posting each week, like Monday or Tuesday, who we pick as the player of the game and posting it on the team's web page. So we'll be excited to see Mason's name pop up there here this week.
Yeah, congratulations and a job well done. Well deserving.
White going to be under center, 1 minute to play. Two backs behind him here on 2nd and 11. The snap, the give, and it's going to be Gibbs. He gets past one man. He's going to get up to the 40 and run out of bounds there. And probably the only thing they didn't want him to do was to stop the clock.
Right. Well, you mentioned the Flicks Daniels player of the game. Flicks and Daniels now are going to be residing in their new location over on West Smith Street in the plaza that also houses Box and Locket, Snap Fitness, and Meerhoff's Appliance.
All right.
So they're in that same, right in that same plaza. It used to be Buyers Fair years ago where Flicks and Daniels are located now.
Yep.
And so they made the move this weekend. Monday morning, they will be operating their office out of that location. So
great to hear. Hopefully things are going well for them. We're sure happy to have them as part of our group here with the 98.9 Sports Street.
Tremendous sponsors. They really help out the Corry community and the CSP team they've been sponsoring for several years. So
the give to Becker and Kill get close to the first down, and we'll see where they spot it. He's very close there. It looks like they're going to spot him about a yard short.
Clock running under 40 seconds now, John.
That should do it, right?
You're right.
Unless they call a timeout, which Springville does have all three of theirs. 4th and 2 officially, and the Wolfpack just waiting for that final buzzer now. Well, they go from 5th to 3rd in the standings with that win. And now it's time to set your sights on a dance tonight. Have fun with that. Sorry, I'll get that out of the way. And now set your sights on Southwestern.
Yeah, another dance on Friday night, right?
That's right. Brad, it's been a pleasure once again to have you join me on air. It's exciting. I get to watch you or listen to you and watch you on Friday nights with the Corry team and the things that happen over there, and that's been an exciting season. But this year, getting to work with you 3 times, it's really been a lot of fun. I've bounced around and get a lot of different co-hosts on this, and Doc's incredible. It's great to work with him and everything like that, but he only gets to do the away games because he's the PA announcer for all the home games. So it's been a pleasure to have you. I also want to thank Coach Ancho for his contributions for the Chautauqua Lake game. It was nice to have him in the booth as well. But hopefully we see you again next year, Brad.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and thanks for letting me hang out with you for 3 of the home games this season. I had a lot of fun, and it's totally different atmosphere than the PA side like we've talked about before, but it's very entertaining, and it's fun to watch such incredible athletes. And CSP just keeps bringing these athletes year after year, and winning just keeps breeding winning.
That's right.
And we hope to see that continue for a long time with CSP.
CSP gets the win today, 50-7. We'll see you next Friday night. That does it for us today on the 98.9 Sports Stream. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening to this broadcast of CSP Wolfpack football coverage on the Channel 98.9 Corry Federal Credit Union Sports Stream at channel989.org. This broadcast is brought to you by the Corry Federal Credit Union, Lictus Oil and Propane, Jim's Automotive, Flicks Heating and Plumbing and Air Conditioning, and Daniels Electric, Necker's General Store, the Cornerstone Restaurant, Caflisch Pallet and Wood Services, Triple E Manufacturing, Tina Dill's Real Estate Agent, Utegg's Body Shop, Countertop Solutions, J. Edwards Insurance. Join us next time for all the action, channel989.org.
Wow.